Hey, welcome back to Metropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a Thursday night, the 4th of July, 2024. I imagine some American folks are not with us tonight. They're doing whatever you do on this day, which I think is fireworks and fireworks and saluting the sky. So, hey, America's asleep. Bring out your house hippos. Look at these glasses. San Francisco, how's it going? Happy 4th. I don't often wear glasses. I wear contacts all the time. And the problem is the glasses I own are usually of a lower quality. And so any day that I wear glasses, I feel just a bit foggy because they just don't have the right exact optomet. What are they called? Prescription. Prescription. So, yeah, everything's just not clear. It's fine. We'll get through the day. It's okay. Hey, Mango, how's it going? Brennan, it's the Grid. Music demands mirror shades. I like that one. The one that we just came in on, I think is quite nice. We've curated the list a bit. Ooh, Metropole Grid stream I can actually catch. Let's go, Stab Tabby. How you doing? So Argon, no one should be celebrating the 4th of July in this state. Like this state of the world, or like this state of American 50th states. If I was American, I'd be shooting my M16 into the air all day. I think that's a rifle, right? Not like an M40, which is the firecrackers that I think are legal. Happy America Day. Get drunk and explode your fingers. Yep. Yeah, now it seems like a very American thing, the fireworks. You see fireworks around here every once in a while. I know, being a kid over in summers and stuff in like Slovenia, we would play fireworks all the time. And it was a nice Yugoslav thing. It's scorching hot in this room. It is so just muggy in this room. I can't tell you exactly how hot it is, but it's incredibly humid. We can't open the window. The air conditioning's on the highest it is, and it's like it's not doing anything. So we're going to try and hold on together today because it's going to be a wild ride, that's for sure. Luckily, if we want to cool down, we're going to be diving into the pool. The BARF 101, a comprehensive guide pool. We're going deep underwater. It gets really cold down there, so hopefully that's good. What's considered hot for Canada? Well, it depends. Like, depends where you are in Canada. Here we get hotter than I think a lot of places do in the entire North America. It was like 2 weeks ago. Hold on. It was 109. Right now, I don't know what it is. It's probably really hot. We do in Celsius, so it's probably hard to tell. It feels like 34. That's not, I guess, too bad. 34 CNF is like what, 90? 93? It's pretty hot. That's awful. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. There's just no way around it. And it's humid, right? Most of Canada lives, well, at least northeastern Canada lives among the water, so it gets really humid. Yeah. Love your DSS rant last week. Yo, I got pretty good feedback from the DSS rant, Eric. How you doing? I want to follow up on that really quickly. Maybe we can get that in here right at the top. I think the best advertising strategy for SSS is to let one major event every year be ran in DSS so we can remember how dog shit DSS is. So I said that I wanted to look at the stats for Worlds 2023 Barcelona, which was the last major event that was run in DSS. Because the short of the long is we talked about DSS because EMEA was ran in DSS. It looked like an incredible event. So like, again, it's not a slight at the event or the people who played it and won and deserve to win, right? I want to be very clear. It's just, I think the format's not very good. We can have a better format if we want to. It's a bit more work. It's not perfect, but in terms of numbers and gameplay stuff, it is definitely a lot better if you ask me. So just so we can finish this, the numbers that were at EMEA, on average, in the top 16, there was only one player that played every game in every round. So that would be 14 games across 7 rounds of DSS. On average, people played 79% of their rounds in the top 16. And a quarter of the players played 58% of the rounds, which means a quarter of the players played only 8 rounds out of 14, which that's just a hilariously bad number, I think. Now, I ran the numbers for Worlds 2023 because the numbers are still available. And so it's actually not that different. I don't think I left Worlds thinking that DSS was like super cursed because I didn't experience that much and there's a lot of other stuff going on, that's for sure. But just so you know what the numbers are, I calculated them. I'm not going to show you my stats because they're attached to names, but the average amount of rounds that players in the top 16 at Worlds plays was 81%. So it's slightly better than it was at EMEA, but by 2%, that doesn't really matter. So it's about the same. The worst case scenario is that there was one player in the top cut that only played 55% of their games. They played 10 games out of, it was meant to be 18 games that day. That's wild. That's really wild. 10 games. That's not a lot. A quarter of the players then played 60, 2/3 of their game or fewer. So the numbers are still not very, very good. There was only one player in the top cut that played every single game, just same as EMEA. But on average, people are playing about 4/5 of the game and making the top cut, which it is what it is. The 2-for-1ing and IDing was pretty aggressive, as you'd imagine it would be. So still not my favorite tournament structure when the tournament structure looks like this. Like, most people are just not playing, specifically the last round. It's just kind of flawed. We've talked about it a lot. These stats are so deeply cursed. Yeah, they're bad. They're not good. We haven't heard whether Worlds this year will be in SSS and DSS, and like, I think SSS is a better competitive format, but in terms of organizing a large event, it's more of a headache, that's for sure. Hey Threshold, how's it going? There's a future? Kyle, in general, yeah, there is a future. How you doing? The vibe in the USA is atrocious. Not a single person feels good about the future. Oh, there's a future. Yeah, I'm not gonna put words in anyone's mouth, but it's definitely a vibe. That's kind of all over, though. I played 12 games of 14 at EMEA. Hey, Pete. 2-for-1 last 2 rounds. The way it worked incentivized 2-for-1ing to get top half prizes. Yeah, and again, I want to be very clear. I'm not going to ramble too long about this because we talked about this at length on Tuesday. But like, if you 2-for-1 or your ID, like, that is not a detriment. Like, you should be doing that. The tournament structure supports that as the right play to make. And so a lot of players, like these players, are all IDing to ensure that they hit the like 50% win rate so that they can get prizes. Like, this is a very, very compassionate ID where people just want to make sure that they're getting their prize support. Like, I've ID'd at Worlds just to get 50%. Many moons ago, and it is good. It's what the tournament structure incentivizes you to do. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like the format's kind of not great. It was hot as shit. My brain was much after round 4. I heard as feedback that a lot more people were incentivized to ID and maybe even 2-for-1 because it was a bit warm, which, hey, that was the same as Worlds, I guess, but it's going to happen no matter what. But yeah, I've heard it was warm. Hopefully it gets cooler soon. Okay. With that out of the way, we're going to be playing some Thule. This is a deck that you might have seen before. Whiteblade knows how to beat it. You just send it centrals, not much to it. This deck is really good. And it's the sort of deck, there's like a couple decks like this out there that I think are fundamentally pretty cursed, very powerful, pretty unfun to play against, but incredibly strong. And they don't see enough play in the standard format. Like, they don't make enough percentage of tournaments across a global scale to attract attention for like ban lists and stuff like this. I don't know. This card is just kind of messed up. I don't think this shit exists. Scoring 2 of these makes the game totally just broken. And if you haven't seen this deck is like really interesting for a lot of folks because there's a lot of cards that are fundamentally what people describe as readers. Like, a lot of people don't know what this card is, the text on it, what it does. And you have to know what this is because it's a very important card in a combo deck. And there's a lot of cards here that just don't see any consistent play, right? Riot Suppression, Hypoxia, Distributed Tracing, all of this was Thule support that came out during the Borealis cycle, and which Thule doesn't really work. But now, on top of 19 assets, Thule is definitely working. And this deck is also a bit trickier to play. Santa, mind you, and folks from Mental Boast are generally the people who are playing this deck to competitive success. And every time I watch Santa play it, he does a line that I did not know the deck can do. So it's really cool in terms of like a creative expression deck, but it is also kind of, it is rough to play against. I've seen this deck a lot, and I honestly don't know what the game plan is. And if anyone's watching this, or you're watching this, you know, in the comments, Santa later, yo, how's it going? If you want to give some feedback how to beat this deck, I think is really, really difficult. We talked about this deck specifically not existing for a while, because there was a minute where the best deck in the entire format is Lu. And that was before they banned out NANPC, which destroyed the Lu virus decks. And while I think some people are on the fringe of experimenting with those Lu-based decks, or also the Hoshiko-based virus decks, and not playing NANPC and playing Friday Chip and something else and just imping stuff to death, this deck was entirely unplayable when Imp was a common card you expected to see in the format. And it was like the week after that ban list dropped, where we lost Bologna and NANPC, that the Thule subsea rose from deep underwater, and now it is a problem. My creative expression is murder. Yeah, but it's cool how you do the murder, right? Like, you don't die to orbital superiority every day in HB, let alone on anyone. So it is, I'm not 100% sure what you're meant to do. I think there's a lot of cards that are good into it. There's some like cards that if you're playing them. Stargate's quite nice, because you can just throw the agendas in the bin and disrupt the combo pieces. That's good. Any sort of disruption is good. We talked about Imp. Burner is pretty good too, as much as like cards like Gaslight are going to be also an issue that you have to deal with sooner than later. Having any sort of tech to deal with tags at instant speed is actually kind of important. So things like No Free Lunch or No One Home are really good. Instant ability to draw cards, that's probably the most common tech that everyone is playing. Things like Stoneship Chart Room, that can help, but it's not the most robust. There's ways to beat this. Mind you, the deck is also playing Malia, so a lot of tech is technically as fragile as you cannot contest the board, if you know what I mean. So it is really just tricky. I think Cataloger's also probably okay into this, but I don't think it, I think it might be a bit too little too late. You can trash stuff. The problem is once you find the agendas, right? Like the idea is if you drop a Mistbones and you have the economy to trash this many assets, you're going to touch an agenda. And once you touch a Hyperloop, you have to like choose to, you know, pay the, this is a ridiculous economic swing. You have to pay, you know, the 2 credits and a click, they gain 3 credits. And then from that point on, if you trash something specifically, you always have to worry about ride suppression. And if you take 3 for tags, you have to get Oppa researched, and then you can't clear the Oppa research tags, which means you're going to be floating a tag, which means they can kill you with probably Hypoxia into end of line. They probably have to do 1 core damage first. It's just really, really tricky. There's a lot of ways that this interacts in a very frustrating way. I don't think we're going to play it perfectly. It has 2 ice in it, which is also really fun. Just a Gatekeeper, which is great, and a Jaguarundi, which is just says core damage on it, and tag text. Like, that is just good text for the deck. It wants to eat every part of the cat. We'll give it a shot. MC is also a pretty miserable card. Yep, this card is pretty miserable. There's like a whole bunch of cards that for Netrunner players who haven't been playing that long, the sort of like way that people thought about these cards has really changed over the last, well, since this came out in like 2017. When MCA was revealed and when it came out, this was a sky is falling card. People were so confused and upset that there was a card like this that abstractly was a win condition, but also just robbed clicks from the runner. Like, we didn't often see like that win condition cards that also cost the runner even if you weren't doing anything. And while clickless decks, there was actually some decks, really weird decks and older formats that gave the runner 0 clicks on their turn consistently and could actually lock the runner out of having no clicks, as much as that's a very bizarre deck and it was incredibly convoluted. We got a lot better than that. Yeah, these sort of decks actually kind of work. But I just realized, how do you exist on 2 ice? You just put stuff on the table. You just put stuff on the table. There's not too much you're worried about, I don't think. I don't know how bad the ESA matchup is, and I don't know so much about the core damage, but about disruption. ESA matchup is probably kind of interesting. So yeah, spam more things they can't check. Who needs ice? It's just like inherently a thing. Like, imagine I put an austerity on the table and I don't res it. You have to go check it. You have to spend a click to run it. You have to spend 3 credits to trash this. Then you have to worry about all the sort of like combo pieces that come after it. If you find an agenda and it's a bad agenda, it's like any click that I spend for a single click always is going to cost you way more than my click. Because inherently trashing it costs money, dealing with Thule costs money, dealing with Oppa ride suppression at some point costs money. It's like, you don't really need to tax people out on ice. What's interesting is how you use your ice. Like, I imagine you have to ice up 1 central against some pressure decks, and then you have to use maybe the other to guard an MC austerity, whatever's important. I think a lot of times, like, just a Hendrik guards enough, which is good. Doesn't this die to knife? This die's really bad to knife. Technically not only knife, like you generally need knife and something else. Like you probably need knife and security testing, I imagine, because if you run central servers and accidentally steal agendas, which they will set up, if they see you're a knife, well, not security nexus, security testing, they'll like throw agendas into archives, and then you've stolen an agenda, which means they can set you up for oppo. It means you have to take the core damage unless you can lose a click and 2 credits, which sometimes can be tricky with knife decks, not always. I think inherently, what's her name is a pretty bad matchup for you too. I think Sable is probably one of the worst criminal matchups, I imagine. Yeah. So it's a mixed bag for sure. But knife is probably one of the easier ways, I think, to close a game out. As long as you can keep on board. Because like, it's a surprising thing about this deck is like, if you leave an austerity policy on the table, they can just combo you. It's not so much that like you're worried that they're going to score a Ikua from hand with the MC austerity, is they can do some really weird stuff where they can like give you a tag with public trail. And I love that this version has public trail in it. Like sometimes you just die to public trail in the line. Like just keep that in mind. Like if you don't have the 8 credits and 4 cards in hand, you can just die to public trail and the line, as much as the consistency of deck really needs Gaslight for that to be as consistent as you'd want it to be. Also, what's it called is really good into it. Coupulation's really good into it. So yo, Jai, how's it going? Morning, friendo. I just realized we're playing this week's Deck of the Week, but we missed last week's. We did miss last week's because we weren't there. What was last week's? I forget what last week's was. I think we missed Nottingham's once week, which was just like a good PD list. I feel like there's one more that we missed. Yeah. But the 2 ice thing is actually like, there's original versions of this. This was played at COS, an earlier version of this, not on Orbital Superiority. And it had no ice. And I think Santa thought, in hindsight, that this is the list that he should have played at Worlds. And he shouldn't have brought it to COS and showed everyone. Because it is a hard deck to play against, especially if you don't know what it's doing. Like, but now that people have experience against it, it's still a hard deck to beat. It was my Asa? Oh my god, Jai. Yeah, you're right. It was your Asa. Wait, how do we not play the Asa? Oh, because we missed a Thursday. We streamed Friday. It was my partner's birthday. Yeah, sorry, Jai. I really like that list. I played the similar like Tuno version earlier, and it was one of my favorite Asa lists. It wasn't World Tree Ari. It was the Asa list. All good. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that. That was a good write-up too. All right, I am cooking. I have a cold drink. Haven't had one of those on stream for a while, but it might be quite a night. I've been running into a lot of JNet lag today. It's really not holding up well. JNet kind of comes in fits where like it gets really slow and inconsistent, and then I think they do a server reset, and then it's okay for a while, and then they have to do a server reset again. I think server resets usually come on like Fridays, unfortunately, because like if there's tournaments for the weekend, that's when you want to do it. But we'll see how it goes. Metropolitan Grid doesn't care about tiebreakers. Decks confirmed. Got him. All the EMEA aces were in Skunk Void instead of Hollow too. Yeah, I'm surprised that the Hollow did not like make as much of a splash as it did. I know Tuno posted an early list. Was it playing it at CBI? I forget exactly why it posted the list, but that one was great. Like Hollow scoring out an off-rolled off is like, it's just kind of fun. Like it feels totally fine. And then the deck can score out way faster than you think it can. I really liked it. Is Sangren cover the Asa pretty well in your absence? Oh, good. Yeah, if someone's going to cover Asa pretty well, it'll be Jeff. Ace super not. Fingers crossed on the JNet leg. Yeah, it was bad today. I unfortunately read the front page JNet lobby, and it seems like it's still not good. So buckle up. It was, oh yeah, Jai was on it. I watched the first couple rounds. I couldn't watch when Jai opened. I think I watched the VOD though. I know Jeff was asking the questions like, why do you shuffle back the spin doctors or stuff like that? And like, I don't know. That's one of my favorite things from playing HB modernly is that with things like ablative, oh hey, things with yeah, the lag seems really bad. Things like drafters, like actually seeding archives full of things that you want to bring back, like Rashidas and spin doctors, and even defensive upgrades is like really worth it. The lag is also a bit dangerous on threat with a false lead scored. Drum girl thing. Yeah, maybe it'll give us more of a window to like mash that button. So real talk. Yo, real talk. I wanted, in honor of speedrunning, I wanted to play an Aruzana list like the one you played at Boston, but you didn't publish it. And I don't know what I did to my paper copy. I reckon you're playing a version now. So Arzan played this really cool triple deep dive Arsana deck, and it's really cool. It is really cool, and I think it's more powerful than it looks. It has like 3 trick shots, 3 deep dive, and it wants to close the game quickly. Oh, thank you. I wanted to play something like that because today I want to do a bit of speed running and see like how quickly we can close a game out. And I think this Arsana deck has the ability to close the game out way faster than you think. With that in mind, do we like this hand? Like, stuff has been a bit overwhelming. Life stuff, so I'll probably never get... Hey, it's no worries. I just knew you published the NBA one. So this hand, I'm not sure about it, right? Like, are we too worried about deep dive? Deep dive is not good. We're pretty good into deep dive if we keep an MCA austerity or something like on the table. Right now, the best play we have is like false lead remote, Malia remote. I don't like that. We're not going to hypoxia. We're not going to riot suppression soon, so I think we're going to mulligan it. Wait, you didn't? All right, Alex published nothing. False leads deep dive tech? Yeah, I don't want to use it like that. Yeah, very cool. Tunes Asa was for Fight Club Finals. Oh, that's what it was, yes. Because I played that version. I really liked it. Okay, so a big thing I learned from watching Santa is like if Santa has an agenda on the table, like we don't score hyperloops because we almost never score to 7. But even if there's a false lead on the table, sometimes you leave it. Like a lot of times you just seed cards on the table to see what your opponent does. So for instance, something like this is probably fine. We could put the Gatekeeper on R&D. I don't know if we're worried about deep dive turn 1 or sorry, trick shot turn 1. With assets, we kind of are. I think we would res an early Maryland. We'll find out. That it is. Yeah. This is also one of the sort of decks like running into this on JNet casual is probably one of the worst things for like casual players. Okay, this is what we were meant to play around. Arzon has the credits, of course, to deal with the Thule ability. But if we wanted to play around this, we could have considered gatekeepering R&D. It might have been correct. Crashing stuff on R&D is totally fine. Oh, that's a bad steal. Shit. Finding the Maryland. I don't think we want to res it. Arzon will trash it for free. Getting it shuffled back, like shuffling R&D is not that big of a deal. Arzon may have gotten some practice against this deck since I played it at Canets. Oh, no way. Okay. So he draws with Anacom. That was really rough. Just click for a credit. So we have a Hypoxia. So we can do Hyperloop, Gaslight, and just put a Gatekeeper on R&D. I think that's fine. At some point, we're going to have to draw. But this is where, like, I don't really think we need Austerity. The top of the deck is entirely unknown. In theory, should have full information of what's in our hand. I think he saw that we drew this Hypoxia. We'll see how this goes. Like, we don't need to hit the MC Austerity immediately. I don't think this Arsana deck has a lot of ways to deal with assets. Like, I don't think it has missed bones. It might. It might not. So, like, asset money might be a bit tight. We also could have considered stacking these two, which might have been fine. So we're not going to res the Gaslight. We want to keep the Gaslight for a turn in which the Gaslight matters, where, like, we pull an Oppo or something that actually, again, does matter. Okay, cool. So I think we want a Jeeves, or sorry, a Wage Worker, so we can do, like, triple install turns. If we put this on Hendrik, it's, like, pretty obvious what we're doing. So I think we can just put this in a new remote server. If we put this on Hendrik, yeah, F it, let's see what happens. Hey, Vestron, I love Thule, but it feels weird that HB is the best Jinteki deck in the meta. I don't think that's true. I think Jinteki, like, PE assets, like, tempo assets, is better than it looks. Not a lot of people play it. But this is, like, it's not so much, I think, PE, like, damage or PE traps. It does, obviously, nuke people. So, like, I don't think we have to score the false lead. Hey, David, happy 4th. Happy to see a stream today. It's really laggy. This might be bad content. I'll say it. I'll be the first to say it. When I say let's see what happens, I lose the following turn. Issues, we don't have money. I don't want to click for 3 credits. You value agendas as procs more than points in this for sure? Yeah, 100%. Hashi the Gatekeeper is not entirely relevant. It's Amalia. We could res it for 1, which would stop the Nuka from drawing. I don't think we have the money to exactly do that. Now, if Arzon wants to use resources to tech, like, in theory, he has to deal with this, because otherwise the next Nuka that he installs, that's more value for us. Oh, cool. He has 2 ice and 1 is Hush. Not anymore. It was spec work, but yeah. Prana Condenser was hot for a while, but it disappeared. What happened? Is Punitive just better? I think Punitive is different. I haven't seen a lot of people push the Prana thing. Like, the Prana deck won, like, right? The first Continentals this year. Okay, hold on. Thinking. So I think we're going to have a money issue. I think we have to score the false lead first. Because in theory, we can, like, now do Opera Research or Distributed Tracing with Austerity. And then we could use the Gaslight to pull the next combo piece, end of the line. I think we don't have the money to do it. Like, I don't know how we get our money up. Well, that's probably how. Prana's legit hard to play. I think Prana is better than it looks. I think Warrior Tracker is better than it looks. Like, we might false lead advance once. That probably is incorrect, though. I don't know what our kill combo lines are here. Like, I think we want to do Oppo Research. We can do a Ride Suppression. We probably should pull a Ride Suppression Oppo to see what happens. 4th of July is a weird holiday for me. My ancestors got mentioned in the Declaration of Independence, not positive light. Sorry, I'm laughing. Yeah, that's that definitely is it. Yeah, it's really rough. Thanks for the well wishes. I do not really celebrate. Yeah, hey, no, I don't. I obviously don't either. But it's like a really weird one on many. Wow, that's a lot of money. That happened in 1 turn. Okay, so the only thing we need Gaslight for is, like, to actually get the kill condition. I don't think we're in a rush to do it. I think we just score the false lead. We need to, like, have this. Oh, that's a really bad draw, I think. Ugh. I know the thing is like this deck is actually tricky to play that. There's no way we're pursuing the right lines here. Arzon probably should deal with the Maryland. Each just cracked a Netrunner, got it. I think a lot of people don't have like, oh fuck, that's good. Don't have a lot of respect or a lot of practice into Prana P. Wow, missing the agenda, but we're gonna lose these 2 combo cards. It's an odd deck for sure. Yeah, it's really, really, really strange. I mean, there was an audible curse when the burner hit came. And like burner's a hard thing to deal with. We have 1 ice. Like we're gonna get burnered. Yeah, we let the gaslights cook. We don't preemptively gaslight. Hannah coming down. Hannah's a really good card. Hannah could be huge in this matchup. Ma's also not bad in the matchup. Yeah, I think trashing Maryland campaign is correct. You didn't want Hannah that? Oh yeah, we do have Maryland Regulus, you're right. We'll just see me some Thule gameplay. Zach, you might be a rare breed. I think a lot of people don't enjoy the Thule. Okay, that's interesting. Like, what do we do? Just click for 3 credits? I think ours has been doing good to contest our money. Like, do we put the orbital on top of the Hendrik? Because then we lose to single deep dive. The orbital is useless unless we pre-advance it or get a wage worker. So I think we draw once and credit. That's fine too. My buddy only plays Thule. He's not my buddy anymore. Yeah, it's weird. Okay. I don't think this will be trash, but we're going to res it. Are we going to shuffle? What are we shuffling back? MCA Maryland is fine. Malia blanking a Hannah is also fine too, because Hannah is actually very valuable. Her bottom ability is really, really quite valuable. I think we will. Now, this is not a successful run nor an unsuccessful run, so Hannah doesn't get like punishment across the table. Thule core damage decks are almost so cool, except for the fact that Thule kinda isn't very good. I think it's really good. It's competitively incredibly good. The problem is like it wins on axes that are so orthogonal to the game they don't feel fair. Pinhole, okay. Wonder if you could make the Gaslight and Align combo work in PE. Seems like it would struggle to get the kill percent. I think, well, you need to spend a lot of influence because you need oppo research and what's called public trail underline are both. Well, underline is I think 4 influence, public trail is 2. The big thing though is, oh, that's exactly what we want. We could have maybe done a triple install there. I think if you're doing end of line and PE, you're probably doing see how they run. I think you can put public trail end of line in like HB, like in ASA group, and you'll just win some games. Like people are not going to play around it. Like it is what it is. Don't put a Peach of Sean on this. Damn it. It's a Peach of Sean on this. Okay, that's really bad. I think Thule is a good way. Hold on. I'll read that after this because like I'm not resing that. We need money to combo at. We're not making any choices. I think Thule is a good way to introduce a new player to standard. Linear game plan, lots of game actions, surprisingly high agency, and not depend on your opponent's strategy. I think this is one of the worst ways to introduce people into standard. Like, I don't even know what all the cards do. Yeah, I think it's really, really rough for introduction. Like, this is such a matchup that requires you to understand every single card in the deck and how they interact with one another. Okay, we lost the Malia. Okay, we're on game point. Like how PE old core ideas and teach you how to play against hostile boards. So PE back in the day, I think was actually a good thing to learn. Oh, he can't trash this. Because PE wasn't like unfair combo. PE was just about like understanding what click compression was. It was like, oh yeah, I lost 2 damage to this, and now I have 2 cards in hand. I shouldn't run now. I'm gonna draw up. It was like you didn't often die out of nowhere. It was more about click compression. Thinking. So in theory, we could lose right now to deep dive. That is what it is. Like I think we can just lose to deep dive. Arzon can Hannah run HQ, run archives, deep dive, and we lose the game, which is fine. I don't think we want to false lead here. What happens if we survive? So right now, what we can do is we can do shuffle that. Shit, do we need a big oppo? I don't even know how to close the game out. I'm holding all of these cards, and I've played this deck before, and I felt better about it, but I don't know how to close this game out. Because like we're probably going to need Gaslight to go grab our kill card, our 1 copy of End the Line, unless we think we can kill with this Orbital Superiority. Orbital Superiority, we just don't have enough money. Now, Rashida might fire, right? Obviously, Rashida will fire beyond 7. So we can do Rashida first, then see what we get from Gaslight. In theory, we should do a Ride Suppression. I think we will fire it just here. Wayblaze Ire versus PD is the welcome to Standard. Yeah, I like those matchups a lot. They teach you very good fundamentals that translate to every single game in Netrunner. This teaches very little fundamentals. Quickly next to the top corner. Falsely pop Rashida, Gaslight, VDT, and Hypoxia. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. But I don't think that's enough. Like, I think we actually have to do a Ride Suppression. Man, I'm warm. If we see Public Trail, we can do Public Trail, Hypoxia. Public Trail, Hypoxia, End the Line. That will flatline. Actually, oh, because it's not Onacom. If it was Lily Pad, we'd oh, no, Onacom might survive. The problem is like Onacom has a big chance of surviving. Maybe not that big. Okay, so we have... If we grab Public Trail, we can do Public Trail. Like, how do we close it? Santa, how's it going? This is Santa. Mind you, Santa is the person who's been making this deck and doing well with it. I'm struggling, man. I'm cooking out here. If we do Public Trail... The problem is like the Orbital Superiority line is like pretty cursed. Because we need 6 credits to score out. So we can do Public Trail, Hypoxia. 2 core makes End the Line easier to land. Yeah, but if we don't have our Public Trail, we can't land it. We can do... Oh, we can't res Wage Workers. We're going to get 1 more card here. I think we do it. 2 Hypoxia makes DD impossible to land next turn. Yeah, but I'm just worried about Run HQ. Okay, so we res Wage Workers. Well, we won't do that. We'll do Public Trail. Well, it's not impossible, actually. With Hannah, Arzan can still deep dive. Because with like Peach Chang. So let's see what happens. Probably going to draw a card here. Hit a deep dive, but did draw a card. So if we do another Hypoxia, then we can install a Spin Doctor. Can trash Hannah? Not really. It's too expensive. Yeah, we need slightly more money, and even then that wouldn't have killed because of Onacom. So now, I think we need to drop him to 3 card hand. Yeah, I think we definitely double Hypoxia. So now he has 2 clicks. We hit the Phaserum, which is fine. Now we have to discard cards. We can't really afford to discard the agendas. We can discard the Hyperloop. But we can't score Orbital because he's going to be running Archives for sure if he's deep diving. He has a tag to clear. Hannah can clear it. This gets a click back, so why not? Public Trail is really good in this deck. But we have a money issue. Like, I wanted to get something on the table that gave us money. We can't even, like, oh, we can do credit, whereas Wage Workers, credit. 1 and 5. Shit. Okay. Damn. Hey, good game. We did not have money to make plays there. I think Arzan had the pressure. Got the early Luminal, which was pretty good. I think maybe we should have respected what's it called? The trick shot turn 1. Maybe we should have just put the ice there, slow it down. But I don't think it actually matters because you just slap Bendel from hand and like there's nothing we can res that slap Bendel doesn't beat. Slap Bendel is really, really good into this matchup. Into Gatekeeper's okay, but it's really good into Jaguar. And then none of this mattered. We could have maybe gone more horizontal. We probably should have put the Orbital on the table, but once the Hannah came down, he started checking stuff. So maybe we'd do Orbital on Hendrik. That seemed rough. That seemed really, really rough. My version of this list traded on Maryland's for Trank grids. Oh, I think that's cool. Hendrik on R&D can stifle the trick shot. Oh, that's really, really cool. Yeah, I didn't consider that. Hendrik on R&D is probably the play. I think that's a really good spot for it. Deck only has 8 cards that make you money at all. Yeah, that's about right. I don't know how much money you need on average to combo. But even Onacom means that we couldn't do Public Trail and Line Hypoxia if we had the money. Thanks for the game. Let's run that back. Have you read the EA Sports deck write-ups? The type banter in there is impeccable. Like in the comment section. I think I read half of the Asmari one, but I haven't gone through all the comments. 7 credits is the minimum you need to combo at. Yeah. You don't often like Oppo on 7, right? Or threat 3 Oppo. I don't think you do often, because generally 1 Oppo is enough if you have MC a false lead. The as list looks brutal. Problem either is if you say as list, we think you mean as. The Asmari list, we played against it a bit. And we had like a good matchup playing Kit. But it is the sort of matchup where like play Boomerang. I think Boomerang is really good. Play Boomerang. I think it's a good list. I think it has a lot of Swiss cheese though, in like the best way possible. And I think the people who made the deck are aware of that fact. But even knowing what's in the deck, it's still good. We're running it back. Yeah, we have to make it do something. Like, it's a good deck. I'm not gonna like play one bad game and be like, oh, that's the deck list week. The shade is in the right of as well as the comments. I hope people read that, understand that EA Sports and tiebreakers are having fun. This is a better hand. Oh, Essa. Thanks, you too. I have no idea what to do this in the matchup. Like, this is probably a super nuanced matchup. Now, we're not on ontological, but the idea is like we can't dodge Chestushka. Chestushka is just going to find us because we have 2 pieces of ice. So we're just going to throw cards into archives and assume that running archives will be a lethal issue. Probably Essa can't take too much core damage, but if Essa just installs like the console and has 7 hand size, this hand's sick though. We're in a bad spot. This matchup's cursed. Yeah, this is probably really, really bad. This is where you want the ontologicals. I can't believe like Essa's been doing so well fundamentally across tournaments, and like I haven't heard any conversation about Essa. Like Essa won nearly 2 events, 3 continentals, kind of. Did well at every continentals, and not a lot of people are talking about Essa. Trail is your best line to kill here. Oh, I believe it, yeah. But I'm wondering if Zargon's just gonna get hand size up. I don't think we're gonna do Hendrik. Hendrik, Chestushka doesn't access. I don't think it's finality turn 1. I think we just need to get our money up. This Mario was 43-11-1, I think. Yeah, it did really well. And I think its win rate in Swiss, like when you play punitive in that deck, it's going to win you, no joke, 30% of the games without trying. I think the other 40-50% is the deck doing as well as it is. We've seen small success adding like 20 cards to min deck size shaper. Wait, what do you mean? Is it just because kill combo decks are common and Zer's holding combo cards difficult? No, it's just more so like there's a lot of disruption events, like sabotage stuff, that's going to make us throw stuff in archives. We can't ice up. Generally, you want to ice up against like Chestushka, and we can't stop Chestushka from happening. Also, anytime we do core damage, we have to hurt ourselves, and Essa draws. So like if we do like a hypoxia, Essa actually goes up a card, or it stays equal. Sorry, stays equal because Essa goes down a card and then draws a card. It's only first time a turn, but it just makes a lot of things really difficult. Yeah. It's real. It's really weird. Not yet. He put up a good video about the Asmari deck as well. Okay, I gotta check that out. Like Ghost Tongue. I think we're just gonna random off the top. I think these cards are really good. We can do distributed end the line, very likely. We threw out a Managarm and a Wage Workers. That's fine. 2-core also doesn't mean easy kill when they have Marrow. Yeah, if Essa plays Marrow, Zer at a lot of hand size. Right now we're on 4 hand size. Okay. So we need to make our opponent interact. I don't know what that's going to take. That's probably a start. Let's do something like that. I don't know. I don't know how to appropriately deploy the Hendrix yet. Checking out people on our server. There's like 50 tiebreakers. They all taken on optimized 66 card Will Tree Arsenal. Some of them will be successful. There's like 22 tiebreakers. And that World Tree list is pretty good. Light the fire! Yo, let's go. No, you good. Not at all. Yo, send it. When that run the successful, trash all cards in the root of the attack server. That means that the runner does the trashing. So we just need to draw our end of the line. We lost the Spin Doctor. That's fine. None of these cards do anything. But in theory, Ride Suppression can connect here. But now if we top deck end of the line, we will still need a Public Trail. Verbal seems good. Okay, last click Chastushka. So what do we need in our hand? I don't think we need a hypoxia. I think a ride suppression is like really funny. I don't think we need the ride suppression either. I think we can do these two from hand and keep the distributed tracing. I don't like last click sabotage often. Now in this matchup it's very strange, but you don't want to give your opponent a whole turn to like deal with the archives. We lost 2 damn spin doctors. What else did we lose? That's fine. Our 2 wage workers as well. Okay. If this survives, we can win. And our opponent touches an agenda and doesn't play a marrow. They need a marrow real bad. They threw out moshing, labor is running hot. Okay. Somewhere between 0 and 2 are EA moles. All right, we'll see how quickly they check archives. Like, it's a hard thing to check archives with Thule. Like, maybe your game plan is a mill out. I think with labor rights, like, you run out of hand size sooner than later. We already have a QTM infiltration problem. So we'll see. At some point, we'll put the false lead on the table. I think we want to res the regolith to see if they'll run it. If Zargon runs it, like, that's fine. That's good for us. I don't think they're running archives, my friends. Who does the trashing here? The corp trashes, so we can't distribute a tracing. Well, let alone we can't do any of our punishments. Let's go. I think with one more spin doctor, okay, there's 4 points in the bin. With one more spin doctor, we have to be a bit careful, but like if Zargon runs archives, the game's over. If we could draw our ice for HQ, that'd be pretty fine. I wonder if we're meant to gaslight already. I think if the runner hasn't run this yet, I don't think they'll run it next turn. I think we just installed false lead. We can even install advance orbital superiority. And then we can do distributed tracing to orbital. That's probably better. I'm the QTM spy. All right, 1 and 3 that we win here. 1 and 3. Sorry, 2 and 3 we win here. 1 and 3 we don't win here. False lead, okay. So they're going to take another core damage, which means we're going to have to throw out the orbital and 1 card from the top of the deck. So we're just hoping that we don't mill the 1 and 28 end of line. We're fine. That is the game. Didn't play out the way that I thought it would, but I think they just sent it. So they stole an agenda, and then they're dead. There was a steel skin in hand. Hey, GG. It doesn't matter when you take lethal. But it's really hard. I think actually they might want to just not ever run anything, and we have to like try and score to 7 or force something out, which would largely be orbital. Thanks for the game. But I think running archives is wrong. I think touching HQ is probably not correct. I think if they get the marrow down. But yeah, gaslight's the one thing that you lose to there for sure. So maybe you have to consider checking it. But then if they touch an agenda we've distributed, like it's really, really tricky. Yeah, running archives is definitely wrong. At this point, if marrow comes down, how much hand size the runner has? 4 core damage and the marrow's +3? So 4, right? 5, 2, 6? I don't know how marrow works, but I think they have enough to survive. My white whale's a medium. Like, I don't know. It feels like the same era the boom existed, but it is what it is. With marrow, it would be 4 hand size. Okay, so we'd actually have to work a bit. All right, just a string of numbers. I can't imagine that not being a smurf. Unless somebody really likes those numbers. +3 -4? Yeah, it seems easy when you write it like that. You're right, though. It is that easy. Yeah, this is probably bad. It's a really funny story I heard about a plan we had for the tiebreaker Airbnb that we scraped. Have to tell you sometime. Yo, did the tiebreakers and what's it called end up in the same apartment? Thanks, you too. And EA Sports. So we can kind of duck diversion here. I think we're going to put Hendrik on HQ. Sable's a relatively okay matchup, I reckon. An early miss bones is going to have an impact. We did not want to draw that. Hendrick doesn't need to be rezzed, right? Yeah. They were in the same building. There were a moment where they thought they'd be double booked in the same air in BUB. Did you all hang out? All right, Mark is HQ, so Hendrick will have something to say about that. It's a diversion. That's honestly not that bad. Now, we can't res Hendrick, but we can res 2 Maryland campaigns. Which means if they go for the Axis, we can't fire Hendrick. So this is actually a really good time for them to go for the Axis. Maybe we played ourselves. Because Hendrick needs 2 credits. Yeah, we played ourselves. Shit, I didn't think that through. Do you take 1 credit? There's nothing you're worried about there. Hendrick costs 2 credits, so we're 1 short. They took the credit. Okay, wow. We got a little lucky there. Now, in theory, they probably should just trash 2 Marylands. Like, credit, trash Maryland, trash Maryland. There's also a moment on the Thursday where Not Yeti left the door open and the tiebreakers walked in on secret as practice. Oh, that's even better. Yeah, trashing our 2 Marylands is really, really strong. At least we force them to do something and not just diversion and take our money. But yeah, next turn we just do click for 3. That's really funny. Quick, scramble. Throw a blanket on top of everything. Be cool, be cool, be cool. That's good too. Cheese it. Fenris for Lou? That's not good. This has to be Lou, right? That seems pretty expensive this early on. I don't know why you'd do that. Like, you can't trash anything. That's really good. Like, don't get me wrong, that's good. I just don't think I go down to 0 credits for that. Like, you can't trash this. So in theory, they actually can end up, if they access in the wrong order, they can take 2 core damage here. No, not true. They can take 1 core damage for sure. This can't be the right run. They can't steal Iqua. Actually, no, so they could take no core damage if they hit Iqua. Or no, there's a lot of ways they take no core damage. If they hit the Hyperloop, that's the best case. Hit End of Line, that's surprising. We don't need to res this, right? So they lose their whole turn, and they can't trash Hendrick, which is sick. Now, we just time locked ourselves, so like, not amazing, but we also time locked them. You can stack them, which is incredibly rude. You can't DJ any Shaper IDs? No, isn't there one? Is it just Cabanessa? It might just be Cabanessa, who's no longer legal. I thought there was one Shaper that was a Gmod. I think this is more important than the 3rd credit. Ideally here we res the Maryland. Okay, we got the Maryland. Riot suppression's good. We could put the Hyperloop on the table. Time lock references like it's 1994. It's good that there's a word, come on, for that though. I actually don't know if it was time walk or time lock. Because every time somebody says it, it happens quickly enough that you can't actually tell what's being said. And they both sound like exactly what you think they'd be. I think it's walk, yeah, okay. For those who don't know, that's an old Magic Gathering card that just says like, they lose a turn or take another turn. I think those are technically the same thing. A bunch of tiebreakers were bringing Thule for the event. And we were contemplating asking EA Sports if they had like 8 extra copies of Caldera Line Ground, ostensibly as a World Tree Tech card. Oh, this is Knives. Oh, that's bad for us. That's really bad for us, my friends. Luckily, Hendrick's something. Do we have to actually score out? We have distributed tracing the end of line. Like, we could just get there. Still used frequently in MTG. I've heard it in many card games. Like, anyone's talking about card games, that's like the shortcut word. How's it going, Milton? Low, Sable, Steve, Lou, Reyna, Quetzal, Seb are all the legal Gmods. So one Shaper shows up in the list, but it's just not a legal target. All right, we need to build a board state. Okay, we have Riot Suppression, Hypoxia, Distributed, End of Line. We need to get extra clicks, which means we need wage workers. So I think here we just click for a credit and throw out 2 copies of Iqua, probably. Will we be diversioned? Yes. Can we beat that? No. So we might as well click for a credit. Because otherwise we're drawing and discarding 2, and our hand is just sick of combo pieces. Lousy of combo pieces. The original wording for Time Walk was opponent loses next turn. Hey, Rohit. Yeah, that's going to happen. And people thought it meant the opponent loses on their next turn. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Opponent loses next turn. Oh, cool. I'm winning. This is not that bad for us, I don't think. I'm back and watching the game. Hey, Zargon, I've never played against Thule before. I guess you want to start hoping to mill your end of line. Yeah, that's the one thing that's really tricky is us worried about you milling the end of line. So if they steal an Ikawa, they take a core damage. It also turns on distributed tracing, but specifically here we don't have money to do anything, so I'm not going to let it happen. Good game, by the way. You played against my theoretical Orca Tremolo Hippo deck from when Cleaver finally gets banned. Luckily here, we're going to get a knife in, and we can't afford the Hendrik. So that diversion actually was pretty good. Assuming this doesn't whiff. Yeah, we could just lose the knife. I don't know if we're counter queued or not, but this is like the rough matchup for sure. Caldera for 0 is playable, but can you afford to play 3? I guess you can. It's virtual too, right? So it can't get blanked. Excited to see that card. Hendrik gonna trash. Draw a Lou card and getting credit. Knife Sable, yeah, that's like the worst on top of the worst. It's like 2 layers of cursed for us. Oh, Malia. Oh, they hadn't seen Malia before. Oh, Malia's really good. Malia has been like a pretty relevant tech card for a long time. It usually is a one of in a lot of like poisonous lists. They didn't knife us? What the heck? Why did they knife us? Just running into the most cursed matchups. We're gonna play into a Lou imp. Yeah, I think they realized. Wanted to get a knife in there. Right? They forgot violence. Malia took him for a little confusion turn. Yeah, I that's hard to fix. That one's hard to fix. I don't know how to fix that. It's how do you do that manually? Not at all. I think we have to redo the turn. If they want to take it back to the identify, I don't think they're a Smurf. Is that going to work? Because I think this is going to undo my turn. Yeah. Try undo clicked. Yeah, undo click might do it. Because that'll put him on the R&D run. Nah, I think it's messed up because my turn started. And no died. Neat. Oh, because we haven't started a turn yet. Looks like they can still Wizard's Chest. Okay, that's cool. Such undo game. All right, so we see their deck. There's nothing interesting in it. What? Wait, what? That's what they went for? I thought we were gonna get knifed. That's anticlimactic. I thought we were gonna get stabbed. Why the Swift? You don't need that. Interesting. We're obviously like stoked about that, but that's not what we were like worried about. So we need to get more money and we need to draw 1 tag card because we can do ride suppression to ride suppression. Forgot to kill Maryland? Yeah, come on in. Clicking to 5 is really bad if they have the 3rd diversion, but like they can't have the 3rd diversion. Wait, did we see the diversion in their deck? No, they could have the 3rd diversion. Maybe they got, no, we saw one. Jay Chinyo was down here. It was the last hardware. Yeah, they just hit one. This Hendrik on HQ seems pretty good. They need to like deal with it and run on 3rd click on 1 turn and just hope there's no agendas on HQ. And then go from there. If you do knock out a knife from damage and never install ice, they can't full knife you. Oh my god, you're so right. That would be amazing. Yeah, because all the bypass requires ice. It's really funny. All right, we're out of diversion zone. Why are we drawing agendas? Luckily with knife decks, we can be a bit more like blasé with where we put agendas. So do we commit? Once we commit to ice, like we can't uncommit ice. Like that's a problem. So do we think we're ever going to take damage? I think we have to do no ice. Like we didn't see boomerangs, but we're assuming they're on inside jobs and stuff. We see no inside jobs. You see dirty laundries, diesels, Fazerums. I think we're just going to try iceless strat. And hopefully we do 1 damage and it matters. Don't you want them to hit an agenda so they can lose, click, and can't knife? Yes. But we actually want this as a win condition. Yeah, yeah. You don't have to res it? Oh, that's true. We just don't res it. Why did I not think about that? Yeah, apologies. I think I'm playing real soft today. Yeah, we just don't have to res it. So do we do distributed hypoxia just to like to do some what's it called? Tenderizing? I think we do. You can draw for more ice, yeah. We'll get the last one. Like I think we do this. 2 ice in the deck? Yeah, we have a what's it called? A Jaguar. Which Fazarum deals with Jaguar really well, even when on threat. Throw Bravado, Bravado inside job. Got him. That's the reason why we throw the ice out. Looking sharp today. Lazy, thank you. How's it going? So I want to ride suppression with an like basically oppo, but we don't have that yet. I mean, I'll do it. The other option is to put this on server 7. I think that might be enough. I think we're playing chess. I'm surprised we didn't get knifed. Class Act's pretty good. That's a really good tech card on combo turns. This draws maybe too many cards. We need to find an MCA or a wage workers because we need to make the orbital do something for us. Okay. Austerity is like not amazing. Like they have ways to beat it. Discarding Bravado is the saddest discard. In this matchup, at most, it's a 4-credit econ card that makes a run. Like, that's obviously very good. But, like, that's the upside to not playing Bravado. Info Bounty. Nice. That's still, you have to touch a card. We'd be more worried about sec testing here. They're running R&D because it's the mark. If they hit an agenda, they don't have 2 credits. I think this run is strictly wrong. Because if they steal an agenda, they have to take the core damage. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. Technically, the worst case would be Hyperloop. But they lost the last diversion, and now they're on 1 core damage. You don't want to run without having sufficient credits. Info Bounty gives you after the run, if I'm not mistaken. Each time a turn on run, your mark ends, yeah. Miss Bones, all right. So we're also trashing stuff. What happens to Jaina if you install more cards in the chat window? It just zooms out forever. It just goes behind the chat window. I see you haven't watched competitive play. All right, so we probably just do distributed hypoxia. No, we probably do ride suppression. I think we do advance orbital. We do ride suppression, see what happens based off of that. Can't get Swift. They can inside job, like, just to gain a click. Like, sometimes it's correct. If only you watch more Metropole Grid, they know the sec test is better than Bounty here. Yeah, in this matchup it is. Oh, yeah, with Yeti. Yeah, that was actually a really good deck. That was fun. Okay, so I think we have a weird line here. Okay. So we probably start with a ride suppression. See what they do. If they have fewer clicks, we can advance the orbital twice, and then we can do distribute to score the orbital at some point. If they take the core damage, they lose to distribute to end a line on the following turn, unless they miss bones. So this one's usually a reader. So they have 3 fewer clicks. So they have a 1-click turn. So we're going to advance orbital twice, I think. And then we can do, oh, we can't do distribute to score orbital because that's too few clicks. But we could do score orbital, end a line if they take a core damage. You have to jack in with your BMI to run those servers. Ow, my head. I think I was reading some early Netrunner cards, and they said M and MIs, but it was a while before FFG came down to BMI. I don't know. Oh. So this is 2 more core damage, which means we guaranteed win. This is just 2 core damage. We don't have to res this. Unless there's a, what's it called? If there's a Hermes, you should res the Hendrik. I don't think we have to. 5 or 6 3 Sage and Leet? Oh yeah, hey D, how's it going? I probably should have seen that. That's not just numbers. Oh, we shouldn't pay for the Hendrik. This costs 6. Oh, you monkey. It would have been lethal if we didn't pay for the Hendrik. Right? No, it wouldn't have been. So we're short 2 credits. Screw Smurf account. Okay, so now they have 3 cards in hand. So we can do distributed tracing end of line, but the problem is we're short. And this is a 3-click play. So we're just going to try and keep our opponent busy. So if we res Regolith... So if we MCA, we're down to 3. We Regolith, we're up to 4. No, this is more important. We probably should have... We know what the last diversion is. We probably should have just hit the Regolith 3 times. I don't think we had to install this MCA. We would have discarded a card, so it's not the end of the world. But now if they touch an agenda, or they touch an agenda, largely they lose the game. So they have to now figure out how to win. We still have to like figure out how to put things on the table that they're threatened by. Distributed tracing is only when they steal an agenda. So here we have to give them an agenda and survive the rest of the turn. The problem is there's no small agendas in here. Do you want to take a risk? They probably don't have multi-axis. So we can take a risk and basically feed them the orbital. I think we feed them the orbital. Because then they'll be on 5. They don't lose the hyperleap on the table. Yeah, I think we do. Feed them a Fuji. Ikko would cost them 4. Yeah, but they can choose not to steal the Ikko. We want them to steal an agenda. We don't want them to be a situation where they don't have to steal. Right? Because it's not an additional cost, Thule. And Ikko has an additional cost. So now they have to steal a Thule. The orbital, excuse me. This is risky. It might not be necessary. I think we're in a relatively good spot. We're holding the last 2-pointer. They're trashing the Regolith. That's good for us. Lou will draw a card, though. But now we can do the kill combo. Worst case scenario is they snipe the 1 and 5 in HQ or they top deck R&D. But they shouldn't have any multi-axis if they're on a Jachinyo deck. Lou firing on Class Act is like hella cool. That is so cool. It's weird though, because like your play patterns usually draw first to get the information, but in theory now you want to trash first, which is usually not correct. All right, that should be game. Oh, there's an Ikko on top. If they swung R&D, they would win. Hey, GG. Okay. I don't think we're setting up the combos in like a Santa way. I don't think we're seeing the lines too well. No ice. I got 2 ice. The deck has 2 ice. Yeah. We were considering not rezzing any of it just to mess with maybe Jachinyo recursion. The blank of bravados is cool. Did they lose a Jachinyo? They did lose a Jachinyo a couple turns ago, so they actually can't Jachinyo if we don't install stuff. So they have to pivot to winning off of singles. Because I really doubt this deck has multi-axis. But that matchup, I think we shouldn't be winning more often than not. The Swift coming down, like it kind of makes sense because of the click cost, but I think you just want to get the knives as fast as possible. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For what it's worth, if you have your money, like just playing Swift, like playing any run event, like you're basically, it's biotic labor, pay 2, get a click. Like it's fine. I think there's board states where you want an inside job, no ice. It's the deck list of the week. Thanks, you too. Okay, some news time. Really quickly, I'm really excited about this news. I lost my mouse cursor. There's not a lot of people watching live, but maybe in the VOD. Maybe I should keep this for another week, but I'm pretty excited about it, so I'm gonna do it. It's not a surprise. NANPC Montreal is happening August 24th and 25th here in Montreal. I got up the event. You can't exactly buy tickets yet from Silver Goblin. They'll be up shortly. I'm gonna put this link in chat. But basically, we're running, I think it might be the second last, if not the last NANPC event, and I'm super stoked about this. We ran our first major event running a nationals last year, and it was just an incredibly great time. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. We're working on prize support stuff, and I have some cool prize support to show off. We have all the NANPC stuff. So there's the Fermental alt arts, there's the acrylic dice. I have a whole box of them. I'm going to add the image here. We also have just like a lot of NSG prize support. Like, not only is it a boosted CO H2 kit, which is like the really nice Pelongis, the See How They Run playmat, the Tranquility home grids, and the Tree Lions. We also have an entirely boosted game night kit on top of it. So the full crew appears, your digital lives and stuff like that. Where I think it's getting really interesting is we're working on this and more section, and this part is really fun. Let me show you this real quickly. I require these plush tokens. Let me show you what they look like, because they've been starting. Wait, does this work? This works. So my partner, she does like fiber art stuff, so crocheting and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be really cool to put together like plush tokens that are small things that work for the game. This is a little frog. This is the first one she made as like a test of concept. It will fit on a card. This one's on the bigger side, but it'll totally work. And we're gonna make these in a whole bunch of colors. All the sort of like Arsana colors and all the like fun Arsana colors. And we're not sure if we're gonna have enough of these as a participation prize. It's unlikely because they take a bit of time, but they're gonna be raffle prizes and we're gonna have a lot of them. So these are gonna be at the event, which is really sick. And it's not just that. My partner also requested, I always like a nice Banhar token. This is the first prototype of a little Banhar falcon. This is a Mongolian falcon. We'll be making, again, my partner is entirely making all this, so shout out to Maddie, she's the best. We're gonna be making versions of these that are like full blue, because that's the way that works on the art, the digital falcon, and then also like in other colors, so you can like have a nice pink bird if you wanted, a blue bird, stuff like that. But yeah, these plushie tokens will be available there, which is kind of sick because they're hella cute and they're actually super practical, which I'm stoked about, to get something unique for the event. Our son about a graffiti on the cards, insanely cute. Yeah, they turned out really nice. Aaron Terrence no longer have the best click trackers. Oh yeah, I don't know if you're gonna be able to get enough of these for like click trackers. But I don't know. These things are absolutely adorable and they sit perfectly on your cards. Again, I don't know how many they're gonna be. I like the idea they can have color coded ones, like a blue one for your Physarum, your green one for your Slap Vandal or something like that. But it might be hard to collect that many, that's for sure. Looks at flights to Montreal. Yeah, they're turning out really good. We're gonna have more price support. We're gonna be updating this pretty consistently with some other stuff. I'm not sure if we're gonna have an alt art exactly for the event, exclusive for the event. Like, you already get the really cool fermenter. I'm gonna look into it. I had a plan, it kind of fell through. I'm gonna look at some other options too, but maybe we'll have a really nice alt art for that. Otherwise, we're doing a lot of other stuff. We last year had a bunch of people doing acrylic IDs and stuff like that were unique to the event, and we actually have a trophy. Our trophy is a giant bespoke wooden deck box. I'll be able to show more of it, but it is a wooden deck box that holds like multiple cards. It's not so much to bring to an event, but something to have in your home that you can put a bunch of Netrunner deck cards in it. It's made by hand by someone who does woodworking, and we're going to laser some sort of symbol in the top for the NANPC event. I'll show you that as soon as we can. It's getting finished really soon, and we have to move it to lasering, but we have some really cool stuff going on behind the scenes, and I'm excited to talk about it. Bespoke wooden deck box sounds like something I really want. Yeah, it's hella cool. We'll be updating this throughout the year, throughout the next couple months. I cannot recommend two things enough. Firstly, Montreal, if you've never been, is just one of the most incredible cities in North America, if not the world. There's a reason I've not left here since I moved here about, what is it now, 16 years ago, especially in the summer. I know it's really hot, so you got to get used to that idea. The store is really cool. It's one of my favorite stores to play cards in, again, the whole world, let alone in Montreal. And they're just such amazing folks. Talk to anyone who went to Nationals last year. I thought it was a fantastic time, and I'm excited to do something like that again. Secondly, if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, oh, that's relatively close, I can maybe make that trip, but this is an NPC event. It's a competitive event. I promise you, this is a fantastic event for newer players. We're going to be absolutely replete with like raffle prizes. Like, none of the really cool stuff we're making that's bespoke for the event will be exactly attached generally to like score and standings. We want to make it as accessible as possible, and people are super friendly. Like, there's almost no event that is a bad event for your first event. If you have any questions, hit me up. If there's anything that would make you more comfortable, we'll do a video in the near future to be like, here's where parking is. This is what you should know about Montreal. Very similar to what we did last year. But that'll be coming up on August 24th and 25th. If you want to take a second, if you're going and you want to hit your button here at the bottom, right now I've only shared it locally. I need to share this with the Discords for Northeast and for Toronto, that area too. But I just want to know what this number is, just so we understand like how many of these little things we have to make. So if you're considering, if you want to throw your name in there, please do that. That actually is a big help for planning stuff for sure. Plushie mini Boschulus. It was a consideration. I think we need to find like a little design for it. I think the closest is like an octopus or a squid, but maybe we can make something that's grosser than that. But Maddie just yelled from another room, we can do it. So I think she's excited to do it. But she's been doing all the work. So if you think they're cool, it's all Maddie for sure. I just picked all the colors and bought all the yarn. She's doing all the hard work. I'm guessing no Joe Beef this year. I didn't go last year. I think you could go to Joe Beef. Why not, Kyle? Otherwise, events coming up in 2 weeks. It's NANPC Philadelphia that's coming up. I think that's on the 14th. A week after that is Canadian Nationals in Toronto, and I think a week after that is Northeast Nationals in Boston, in the Boston Providence area. I'm going to be going to Toronto. There's no stream for the Toronto event. That has kind of fallen through, unfortunately. I get it. It is what it is. But that means I'm actually playing in CanNats in Toronto in the 20th, which is real soon. It's this Toronto Paths. No. Wait, what? This is past results? This is results. I should go to upcoming. But that's be coming up real soon. So I'm excited for that. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's also a GNK event happening in Montreal on the 13th. We're going to segue to the next bit of news. I won't be there because of the next bit of news. But if you want to come out and play in Montreal at l'Expedition, which is relatively close to where I live, shout out. That's great. Tell Maddie she's cool. She knows, but I'll tell her, Maddie, you're cool. She says, yay. I've been AFK for a few hours and I don't care. There are 15 people in here. I don't care. 4th Street, sorry. I don't know what any of that means. Hopefully you're doing well. The new Mimic. Oh, the new Toronto Mimic. Is it up here? So, Josh has been doing this and he's been like getting a lot of really cool prize support for the East Coast Canadian National Championship. So firstly, working with Scott Aminga to make these 2 arts, you get these at participation prizes, if I'm not mistaken. So this Mitosis, which is really great. Scott Aminga, who mind you is a Toronto local, and Trickshot, which is also fantastic. These are phenomenal, and I've seen these for a bit. On top of that, this was just revealed, and this is actually based off of an oil painting. So Nikki Cheng is, I think, also a local artist, and Nikki oil painted this, and the actual original oil painting will be there. I'm not sure if you can buy it, if it will be raffled, but it is technically part of the prize pool for Canadian Nationals. But yeah, this Mimic art is absolutely frightening. It is really quite good. Just a fantastic, very frightening piece of art. But yeah, the actual painting will be there, and the understanding that this is an oil painting is hella cool. NBC Philly and Intercons are at the same time, so I think I might be going to NBC Philly just so I can play Alan J with friends nearby. Oh, D, it's such a bummer that at the same time. That is the next news, is they've announced what Intercons is, and it's also on the 13th. I'm going to be casting the first 3 rounds of it, and it's obviously such a fun event. It's a bummer that there's an NPC event at the same time, because there's probably more than just UD that has to make a choice between going to this in-person event or playing online at Intercontinentals. So that's a bummer. Probably that means somebody else can play in your spot, which obviously is great. But yeah, Intercontinentals, if you want to watch it, it's at 10. It starts at 10 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, which is really great for me. And then it'll be going on for most of the afternoon. It's a bit of a show match. Some folks take it more seriously than others, so it's like this fun middle ground between, you know, an invitational show match, like an all-star game, and also like you're seeing high level play against high level players, which is fantastic. KO the Face Stealer? Ko the Face Stealer? Cyberpunk? It's just you, really? I'm playing, I just want to deal with the rest of these. Oh, you're playing Intercons at the event. Wait, I didn't understand it. That's hella sick. Wait, so you're going to Philly to play Intercons? That's really cool. Metropolitan Grid Dust Tide just splurged today and bought me a ticket for East Canadian Nats. Been playing Startup off and on for 2 years, so that'll be my first time playing Standard and first tournament since late Mumbad. Any deck recommendations? Yeah. If this is your first event, and you want to play at East Canadian Nationals, firstly, it's going to be nice to meet you there. My decks that I always recommend, you can't go wrong playing Precision Design. If you're playing Startup, you're probably familiar enough with Identity, and the deck is like very similar to what you expect it to be. So we're just going to find the first Precision Design deck that did relatively well at an event. I wouldn't say Tattoo Bullet would be my first starting point. We'll just find one of them. I'm just going to search Rotoms. Can't go wrong with Rotom. But that's a really relatively straightforward corporation to play that is just good and has a relatively flat curve against most of the field. Can I have a Rotom, please? 7th of the American Cons. I think this is fantastic. On the runner side, I think it's a bit trickier. It kind of more matters what you want to play and what you enjoy playing. I think every faction has something that is totally playable. So if you want to play Anarch, I would recommend playing a Hoshiko deck. Those are pretty straightforward. If you want to play Shaper, it's a bit harder. I think those have a higher skill cap. And if you want to play Criminal, it's probably not the most obvious competitive choice, but like if we can find any sort of good Sable deck, you're in a great spot. So we'll see if someone posts a Sable list. That's my choices, really. That's the plan. Oh, it's so cool, D. So we'll see what this is that Count Zero is playing. 14th American Continentals. Joe's playing this. Joe's in chat. You can ask questions. Tour Trap. Cursia made the top cut with this at EMEA. I'm not sure what this deck is. I haven't seen it yet. This is a deep dive deck. Genuinely, probably a fine thing to bring. Generally a fine thing to bring. I think deep dive decks give players who are maybe not confident a very clear goal. For better, for worse, usually for better. And these can just like steal games that you might not feel like you deserve. But if you deep dive, you deserve it. I'm sorry, Forster. I don't think I understand much of this. This is a Netrunner stream. And we're talking about Netrunner, really. PD has played like 20 of the same cards since the release. This deck, it's really funny. If you go to the PD list and you do search by set, it's mostly, but this is not uncommon, but it is like mostly, obviously, and Null Signal Games cards. But in terms of the new cards in the deck, like we are only seeing 3 cards from the deck. I would argue MSC is really important. Greasing the Palm is arguably important. It's a 1-of. Corporate Hospitality is arguably important as a 1-of. These are more flex slots. There's not a lot of better options than this. I think in these slots, MSC is just really good, but the deck has largely been the same since when it came out in 2021, which is the set of cards here. I think I would love World Tree Shaper, but I wouldn't have enough practice. Hoshiko, likely the good option as I played her back in Startup. Oh, if you played Hoshiko in Startup, yeah. Just grab like EA Sports published their Ashniko list. I think they did. Yeah, they did. That's a really good one. It's a bit harder to play than it was back in the day because you have to manage your resources slightly more because you have a lot of 1-ofs and at some point you might have to do your recursion loop. So figuring out what to pull off the price, like get a couple practice games in. If you're playing in paper, if you played Hoshiko in paper, the ability and managing this and all your companions, it's slightly more work if you've not played in paper than you might be used to. Oh, there's no Paladin now. Sick. But those are very, very, very good. Hosh can't go wrong. Runnerside Kid or Zaya are probably the best starting points for getting to standard. I think Zaya is a really good teaching deck, but I wouldn't bring it as a tournament deck. I think Kid's also actually, yeah, a really good deck for newer players as well. What's Netrunner? Kato, how's it going? This is Kato. Has a good voice, handsome. What is Netrunner? Netrunner is a cyberpunk card game. If you want to find out more, I'd recommend going to nullsignal.games. It's largely a free-to-play cyberpunk asymmetrical card game. It's been around technically in some iterations since 1996. It's really, really good. It's been around for a long time. We're playing Null Signal Games cards. The last set came out a while ago, like earlier this year. And you can try it out on Shinteki.net if you want to get involved. But Null Signal Games is where you want to go. If you're watching on Twitch, there's a button below that says like, I actually forget what it says, but I'll link you to System Gateway, which is a good place to start. Run event, go Burr. Yeah, run event goes Burr. Speaking of Burr, let's go Burr. I want to do some speed running. Wait, was that all the news? Oh, mind you, at the end of this, they mentioned the accelerated beta test for July and August. So it looks like the next one coming up is at the end of July. It's for APAC time zone, so that's probably not great for me. EMEA time zone and August 11th, American time zone August 24th. So it looks like there's now actually more than one AMT per month, which I didn't know that was a thing you could do. That's really cool. Okay, let's give this a shot. So it is Games Done Quick this weekend. That is like a charity speedrunning event. It's been going on for a long time. They do 2 big tournaments, or not tournaments, streams every year. One in, I believe, at the beginning of the year, one in summer. We've classically kind of kept up with them in terms of like every once in a while when there's a GDQ, we'll try and do speedrunning Netrunner. I don't have like a timer set up, but we've often went out of our way to see how fast we can close games of Netrunner, and we'll play as aggressively as possible to see like what we can speedrun. On the corp side, I think we actually have a candidate for probably one of the fastest decks in the meta, and as this, I think the speed of this deck is attached to 2 things. Obviously, the Jupestad re-education combo. If you're not too familiar with this can just flatline you. If you have no cards in hand, you fire re-education first, and then Jupestad does a single core damage. That's really hard to beat. There's some tech cards. Notably, Diogen is right. We're on 40 cards here, so it is as consistent as possible to draw these pieces, as much as the agenda density is technically higher than what it needs to be. But overall, it looks like the folks at the EA Sports have done the math to say, like, this is what you want. I think we actually run the numbers on this. Like, actually, hold on. I have a button to do this. That isn't the button. I have a button to do this. Button. Puna gives you the option for an early kill. Yeah. Okay, I hit the button. It didn't work. Let me make sure why. I'm going to hit the button again. Okay, button works. Button works. So this is our agenda density calculator. Just to show you the different amount of accesses, which is not going to be the full story here of what you want. So we'll have a deck here that's on 40 cards. We're going to have 6 3-pointers, no 2-pointers, no 1-pointers. The deck contains 18 no global food. We're going to run this test 500,000 times. I had a whole video about this. I added this to a hotkey so that we can do this pretty quickly. But the idea is this is how many accesses on average you need on central servers to try and close the game out. Already this agenda suite is like just hella cursed because it's running only 3-pointers. It's running 18 points of 3-pointers. So the runner needs to steal half the agendas in the deck. I don't like 3-pointers. I wish this wasn't possible, but the runner needs 17 accesses to win. That is almost, that's actually not that bad. That seems pretty fair. But that's because it's 40. So the difference is if we do this again, so if we do this on 44, this number goes up to like 19, I think. So cool to have this tool, Netrunner. It'd be cool to have this tool. Yeah, unfortunately, the way that I've coded this tool is pretty bad. I think you should just be able to check the table. Like, it doesn't make sense to run this tool. I think you should just be able to check the table. This goes up to 19 accesses. So the math here suggests, and mind you, this number is a heuristic that is different and weird for a bunch of different reasons. But the idea is that losing 4 cards actually lowers the amount of access the runner needs to do by 2 agendas to close the game out. Now, the bet here on average is that the runner is losing to the remote server sooner than they can get between 17 and 19 accesses. Just 42% of the deck. Yeah, that's not that far off. 17 is actually really, really bad. On average, most decks in the standard format are between 17 and 18. 19 is really cursed, and that's why the 44 deck minimum decks playing only 3-pointers are really hard to interact with. Now, these agendas are not entirely defensive anymore. Like, they used to be hard to steal. Now they're easy to steal. They just do good stuff for the corporation. But yeah, it does have an impact on how quickly you can lose the game. But also, that number is an important number on the flip side. That means that the corporation technically sees 7 points and 17 card draws. That doesn't really matter for this deck, but that is the other side of this number, which is that's how many random draws the corporation has to find to get 7 points. Not that they're winning off of 7 points, but anyways, that number does matter. And that's generally why you don't see this, but it looks like we'll figure out if that matters or not. We're going to try and build a runner deck first, because I think we can do that on the corp side, because that seems really, really, really quickly. Really, really fast. Thing is, you can't touch half of them because they get dumped in archives. You think those agendas get dumped in archives? I don't think they usually do. And then why can't you run them? Runner deck. So we played against Arzan earlier today, and Arzan was playing this really interesting Arasana deck at NANPC Boston, which was unlike any Arasana deck I've largely seen before. We've classically seen, well, right now in the format, we're seeing Arasana decks that are World Tree pilled. We're not touching that, that's for sure. And we've seen a lot of Arasana decks that are just setting up to win in the late game by getting a conduit and going to town. We're not doing that either. The idea is that with Arasana, you can go fast enough and just play 3 copies of Trick Shot, and then just play 3 copies of Deep Dive. And hopefully we can steal the first 2 points or 3 points with the Trick Shot, and we can close the game off with a Deep Dive. That's the idea. And it honestly seems kind of sound. And I think there's a lot of decks like the ones that we just played that are really bad at stopping Deep Dive quickly enough. So if Arasana can consistently get to the Deep Dive, so be it. I might be mixing up my kill decks. Oh, on backprobing? Yeah. They don't throw them in archives. It is a punitive deck, but they generally don't play like that. I wonder if Lou would stand a chance against this deck. Nano, how's it going? Lou into the NBN deck? I don't think it'd be a good matchup. I don't think Lou can deal with like most of this stuff relatively well. Like the thing with this matchup too is like it's not, and some of the players at EA Sports were actually playing Neurospike. Once the cards are in the remote server, you're cooked. Right, like this deck to win, I think it needs a Jupestad, a Holomin in the remote server. In theory, Holomin could be on a different server and then an agenda, but it's not like you're trashing the cards in hand. So I don't think Lou would do it. If you're talking about Thule, yeah, Lou's really good into Thule. So let's try and make this as fast as possible. A card I am fascinated with in Shaper, which is probably shouldn't be in this deck, but again, I'm fascinated with this in Shaper, is Window of Opportunity. 2 influence is not that bad. And this card makes a run and lets you install a piece of program or hardware from your grip. Now, that is double dipping with Arasana. Arasana can already do that. But this ability seems like a really strong way to hammer centrals and go very, very quickly and get stuff like working. The idea is that once Ice is res in R&D, if you Window of Opportunity and use Window of Opportunity to install like a Peach of Champ, like that's just good. You basically got like 2.5 clicks for free, and that's a nice way to close the game off. Not sure if that's worth it. Mind you, with Arasana, that's a thing. Should we be playing a Mercury deck? I don't think I want to play a Mercury deck. I don't like playing Mercury decks. You know what's cool though? Installing 2 programs? Yeah, or a program and a hardware, right? Like, it sounds really cool. I don't know. I don't know what's the best use of influence in this deck because I haven't really thought about it too much, but Window of Opportunity is definitely a good one. Hannah, definitely worth considering if we want to deep dive off really quickly. I think we can also consider copies of DJ Fenris, potentially, either to get Quetzal for certain decks, but also more likely to get Sable, which is quite good. Window more appealing than Inside Job because it can choose an ice behind the outermost. Well, Inside Job is also like a bit more influence, and this is more of a utility card. The thing is, like, at the end of the day, Arasana doesn't need that much. Like, I don't think I'd spend 9 or 6 influence in Arasana to cheat around ice. But Window of Opportunity is cheat around ice, but also give you click compression where inherently we're going to have a lot of programs. So it's hard. The amount of times I would have loved to play a Pichashon and Cubon on the same run. Yeah, that's the idea. It's like we can get some weird click compression with Arasana to go super, super, super aggro. So that's interesting. This is also like a relatively good card into, what's it called? Into like PD. Like you run the remote server, they res a big ice, a Brawn or whatever, and then you can just window back. Window Opportunity Saucy for some awesome economy. That is like the different direction that we want to do. I think you could definitely consider doing this. Obviously it's good, but like we want to just close the game off. We're not looking for any sort of weird, unfair economy loops. Like Cubon is probably comparable to Saucy on most board states for us, and that's a bit better. Pat, how's it going? We're so close to the end of this like really epic game of Arc Nova that Pat and I have been playing. I was behind like 50 points for the beginning, and I'm just caught up, and now we're on the last 2 or 3 turns. We're playing asynchronously, and I'm like so jazzed about the end of it. Hopefully you're doing well, man. If we're gonna give deep dive, is Estebrado less influence than Inside Job? I think it's the same, but also like I don't think you need this in a Shaper deck. Shaper is just so good. Like Estebrado is largely the same value as Fizzarum, except Fizzarum is much more flexible. You're really catching up at Scary. Yeah, I know. I really did catch up. I think on my next 3 turns planned. I think we only have 3 more turns before the game's over. Okay. Let's see how we can make this fast. We should do a heat on BGA soon. Yeah, I'd be down. But the problem with the asynchronous BGA heat is I'll write down what's in my discard pile because I can't walk away and forget what's in my discard pile. So I don't know if heat is that good. Like, we're basically playing with perfect information, which maybe that's fun. All right, how do we make this aggro? What's our console? I don't think we have to play Swift. I think we could consider playing Swift. Window Opportunity to install Swift is pretty good. I think the idea is Onacom gives us the same amount of click compression as much as it's for cards, and it's not for getting your clicks back. If on average what we're doing with our turn after we play an event is draw a card, we can save a lot of influence to play Onacom and also not die to stuff. I don't know if you play 2 or 3, whatever. Simulchip. Simulchip is also really good because you can move around your Trojan at instant speed. It means with Pichashon, you can get multiple clicks when you move the Pichashon to the next ice when you run central servers. I don't know how many of these you install. Hopefully with Window, we're installing them relatively cheaply. We probably want to play something that we can spree out. So Slap Vandals as a 3 of probably is our aggression tool. A really cool thing with Window of Opportunity, and like I'm excited for this card to see play in like As or some criminal that inherently wants to install stuff, and it's probably as much as it seems like a struggle to put this in As decks because you want to play as many hardware because you want to play more hardware so your prognostic Q loop doesn't whiff. But like installing a Poison Vial with Window of Opportunity seems totally fine when you're relying on Slap Vandal. Like that's a really cool combination. It's a bit expensive because you're paying, 4 credits up front, or sorry, 3 credits up front, but like Slap Vandal Poison Vial gets through everything. I don't think it's necessary, and that's probably a better way to use influence because I don't know what other cards we're using that Poison Vial interacts well with. I don't know if we're playing Kongamato and Gavali, but like Poison Vial Slap Vandal, whether or not we're playing Spree, seems like kind of fine. It seems fine. Chesva for Econ, I think in Shaper you don't often need to spend. Again, Chesva's like 3 influence. Like, we're trying to build an As deck, it seems like, but I think here we get that much money by just playing the Vernissage. Like, Vernissage, not that one, is probably a Chesva worth of value. Okay. How do we get more Poison Vial value? I think we would do, like, Congo Gabali. We don't have any synergy with these cards. It's unfortunate. These cards are not synergistic either with Window of Opportunity or with Arasana's ability. So the other Trojans we have Cubon, which is fine. We definitely want to play Pichashons. Are there any other breakers that we'd want very quickly? Like Mayflies that we can install? I'm pretty sure Arazan was on a single Mayfly, if not 2 Mayflies. We can always like install from hand Oiler and other breakers. That's okay, but it seems tricky to get all that to line up. I think our card, we're almost at 45 cards. What are we missing? Dirty Laundry is really good. SMC is pretty good, but I think Muse is a bit better. I don't know if we're playing Coalescence and like environmental testing. We probably have to, but I feel like we're now slotted up. Window Opportunity seems really good with environmental testing. That's a nice way to make that more aggressive. I just don't know if we have enough targets for this. We have 2 influence. I do not know how to quickly make this deck make sense. Let's see what it draws like. Right, like the idea is, can we deep dive on turn 1 with this hand? And we can. And Versificator, I think it's too slow and too expensive. Like we're trying not to actually use any breakers as much as possible. Like this hand, you could deep dive on turn 1. If they don't ice up anything, like you run. Well, obviously they don't ice up anything. It's easy to deep dive turn 1, but you know what I mean? Like this turn's actually reasonable. Investigator's cool. I think Investigator's really cool. I think I'd play it in World Tree. I don't think I'd play it in this. Is environmental testing too slow? Is Coalescence too slow? What's the most aggressive we can make this? Burner's like fine, but this feels like an anti-aggro card. Like it's anti-aggro is the corporation, anti-aggro is us too. We don't really need that much more multi-axis, but like Jailbreak, stay on page. Jailbreak is kind of fine. We probably should consider Spree if we're relying on Slap Vandals. Do we need coupons? Do we need Muses? We probably should play Fizzarum. We definitely should play Fizzarum, which means the Poison Vial gets a bit more dodgy. Huh. So this hand, that ain't it. Like maybe we play Baya Bands. Baya Bands is exactly what we want. So we cut a Poison Vial. If you play Fizzarum, you definitely want the Muses, yeah. So this is something maybe? MB testing is cracked, you should play. Yeah, I'm worried we don't have enough targets. It's really, really good. But I want to win like very quickly. Spec work for Econ, I don't think we'll trash any of our cards. Like we want to keep our cards around. Okay, this hand we'd mulligan. We want to go to 45 cards because we want to deep dive as quickly as possible. I think the only way we play environmental testing is if we also play Coalescence. But I don't think we're playing Coalescence because I don't think like it works that well with Onicom. It's technically a simul-chip target. But we need to have fewer cards in this deck. Like here we could trick shot turn 1. If they res a non-barrier, okay, we can Muse for a Slap Vandal. If they res a barrier. If they don't res a barrier, we Fizzarum. We see 2 cards. We break all that for free because of trick shot. We run the remote server, whatever. We draw. How quickly do we get to it? I think we might need more draw. Cut 1 nuke. I think we need more draw. I think cutting the Urban Arts is like maybe on the line. Simul-chip is like kind of nice because we want to move around Slap Vandals and be flexible with that. Cubon seems a bit like maybe we don't need 2 Peach Chance. We probably don't need 2 Peach Chance if we have a Muse. This hand's not good. Do you need both Vernissage and Spree? I think we kind of do. Like the idea with Spree is we can move the Slap Vandals around. Because all you need is a Slap Vandal. The thing is like, the thing that Spree does is allows us to run 2 servers and pressure 2 servers, which is what we need to do, right? We need to pressure 3 servers with Deep Dive. Urban doesn't do that. Urban lets you reposition between turns. You know what I mean? We're going to be flying really close to the ground in terms of money. Imagine they don't ice centrals. We have no target here. Like maybe we just play 1 Spree. Oh, I think this is definitely a Dirty Laundry deck. I think Dirty Laundry is so good with Arsana. Like this allows us to deep dive on turn 1. Like look at this hand. Can we deep dive on turn 1? Yeah, probably. We can Dirty Laundry Archives. We can run a remote server. If they res, we either Fizzarum or Mantle through it. If we run HQ, we deep dive. It's not great, but like we can do it on turn 1 because we're not trying to build something that is, you know, going to outlast the corporation. We're trying to like speed run, right? I think we're just trying to speed run as fast as possible. So we just want the fastest cards, which makes me think we actually just want 3 copies of Jailbreak. Like, is Urban too slow? Is Urban too slow? Like, is this a Joyride deck? Oh, man. I'm drunk on the idea of speed. Like, what do we do with this hand? That's not good economy. We can't keep that. This is fine. Yeah, that's fine. Event Shaper, let's go. Yeah, we're getting there. Onicom Shaper's fun. Okay, we need to cut 3 cards. Is Jailbreak that good? Yeah, I think it is that good. I think it's exactly what this deck wants. So what do we not want? All this seems good. Window of Opportunity is like kind of dodgy. There's probably a better way to spend influence, but this one seems really fun. We have Mayflies, we have Slap Vandals. Those seem good, expensive. Cubons seem kind of not necessary. Like, we don't have a lot of money. This is a nice way to make money while running, which is okay, obviously, but like, I don't think it's super necessary. Urban Nuka, oh man, I don't know what to do here. Like, we're missing fundamental economy cards. Like, maybe we should be NB testing. Maybe we need a Poison Vial. Like, this hand. Okay. So we probably start with, you want to start with Trick Shot, but we probably start with the Buy Bands to draw 2. We can install the Slap Vandal on whatever. How much money do we need if we just win forehead? That's the idea, right? Like, we don't have to burn long. We have to burn bright. We don't have a deep dive in this hand, but now we can, like, Jailbreak Central. Hopefully HQ. NV testing can be triggered on the big spree? Yeah, I think you're right, it can. No, it can't. Because you're only hosting, you're not installing. Swap is only install if the swap comes from hand. Does this deck want Overclock? I think Trick Shot's enough. But Overclock Mayfly, I think there's a reason that you could want it. If our money's not good, I do think we consider Overclock, yeah. Like, maybe we don't play Urban. This could be it. Is there anything really quickly that, like, jumps out? Like, click compression, aggression, money. That's all we want. Click compression, money, aggro. This could be it. This is not an aggressive hand, but like, well, it has money, it turns out. Speedrun. We need to find our deep dive as soon as possible. That's not great. We have good card draw. This is one of prepaid, so I can run a bit less econ. I think prepaid is slow. Like, imagine paying 2 credits for a card that doesn't do anything. We're Sure Gamble. I don't think we need Sure Gamble. I think Dirty Laundry is better than Sure Gamble. I think Creative Commission is also better when you're on Onicom. I think Sure Gamble is like worth something when you're playing Lilypad because you want to get your Lilypad early. Quick slot 3 knives. Let's try this. Let's try this. PB Arsana. Oh, is Arsana 2 R? 2 S's. Rivet. Let's go. Yeah, so there's a while for like the reg Arsana decks. They were figuring out like whether you play Creative Commission, whether you play Sure Gamble, whether you play well, those 2 options are Dirty Laundry. I like Dirty Laundry a lot because you're running. It turns out a lot of folks ended up on Sure Gamble instead of Creative Commission because it's actually important to get your lily pad down as soon as you can. And so you want to Sure Gamble first. But Creative Commission's good. New runner deck. We have no way to deal with upgrades. That's going to be a problem. Like, we could always move some influence around for pinhole threadings. Pinhole threadings is just fine. Oh. That's better. Nice glasses. Thank you, Ninja. How's it going? Solomir's going to play Thule. F. That's fine. This hand into Thule, the windows are going to be pretty rough because there's maybe 2 ice in the deck. Solomir's on Jinja. Best of luck. Have fun. So a lot of our deck is actually going to be totally blank to a deck that has like no ice in it. Now, Biobands is not bad for trashing stuff. Oh, we're going to die so quickly. Man. I think we just try and deep dive. That hand got worse. Just straight worse. We traded 2 windows for we got rid of our 2 Biobands for 2 Mayflies. What? There's ice. I was promised no ice. There's hedge fund. All right. This is not gonna be fun. There's only 2. Oh, come on. We just mulligan out of it. Thule Glacier, no. I think Solomir is playing horizontal. Hedge fund, actually, I kind of like it. That's really rough. I honestly don't know what to do here. Physarum will beat all the ice we expect in the deck. The deck is on Noma Virus usually. Onacom is worth something, but we don't have economy here. This sucks. This is a win on turn one kind of scrub. Yes, if we were playing the way we wanted to, but which would be kind of shitty, we would like just mulligan and like we should just face tank and walk away. Because now we're gonna play a 40-minute game, which is against like exactly what we set out to do. This hand is so bad. Did Solomir mull? Someone mulled. Whatever. Gatekeeper's really bad into window. Just 1x Jaguarundi, 1x Gatekeeper, yes. And hitting the Jaguarundi here is not the worst. Hitting the Gatekeeper is also not the worst. But we want... I think we trick shot here and just go. No further? No res? Sick. Mind if we concede? There's ice in this deck? What the hell, man? This is Glacier Thule. I don't want to do this. Oh, we only have 2 credits? Like... I don't want to play this. I want to walk away. This is really, really bad. This is terrible. Because stealing the Aquas is cursed. It's a pulse. We just lost the click. We're not gonna hit an agenda. If we do, we're happy. 2 ice and Thule, definitely Glacier. It has a lot more. Shishu, how's it going? Like, this is actually some sort of Glacier deck. You can Physarum? I don't think we want to. Man, we're playing 2 window opportunity into Harmonix Ice. Like, what are we doing? Absolute clowns. I'm not. I'm so tilted. I don't want to do this. We didn't see that, right? Okay, once this hits 10 minutes, we self-destruct. Where did it go? Oh, we hit it. I'm gonna today record a video of me making a deck. Oh, no way. Is that gonna be up on the channel? Icing up archives, great. We have no way of dealing with Echo over a long enough period of time. This is probably a bloop, considering it wasn't rezzed. And then the pulse is gonna be de-rezzed. Like, I don't... Yeah, I noticed. Do you mind if I throw the towel? I'm gonna upload it tonight. Oh, very cool. Like, I don't know. I'm playing Thule and Harmonix. Yeah. I got nothing here. 3 window of opportunity. 2 Harmonix. I don't know about that. All right, we're out. Sorry about that. It feels really bad. Thanks for the game. This is gonna be a grind of a game for sure. I don't even know what it's capable of. Joe Mudgy played really cool back in the day. Was playing the really cool stock buyback Thule decks. I like those a lot. Hey, cheers. Thank you. Those were really fun. It was like entirely buoyed by the fact that stock buyback was a bit cursed, but it was really fun. Those were fun decks because they were just kind of like a mixture of like the fair trap decks, where it's like I put something in a remote server, it could be a Vitruvius or it could just be nonsense, and it was not like you weren't actually playing like core damage traps. All right, that seems like the matchup I want, as I usually do. Hey, best of luck, have fun. All right, we can deep dive on turn 1. It's not really good because you can't steal Aqua. Aqua is something you actually have to work around. But we'll see where the ice goes down. Usually their remote server is the priority. The good old speedrun where we were starting the seed is bad. Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel really bad, Joe. Sorry about that. But yeah, seed was bad. We gotta run into like... I don't even know what's the best case. I'm interested for this. Because usually the game is only 10 turns no matter what. I can claim 100% win rate on JNet. Got him. There is some doof in Arsana. I think we played against Edward and we double doofed on turn 1. But Arsana doof is real. I want to be very clear. The play here is to run server 1. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do it. We're just going to go downtown. Wait, how many cards does Deep Dive see? Oh, we need a click game. This is not worth it. F it. There's no such thing as not worth it. We're going to steal one off the top of the deck. I think so. Oh, we hit the map twice. Bad ordering. I'm kidding. Give us a Luminal. Okay, so we had a click game there. We could still 4 points, obviously. We see Iqua off-world Regolith, so it's a Regolith deck. It's on border control. So the best case for them, which we definitely should have ran this if we were playing not like this. So now we want to do, it's really hard against Iqua to deep dive. Like, you need click gainers. So we could set up a bit more here. But like, I'm okay deep dive on turn 1. What was the top of the deck? It was border control, Brawn, Gatekeeper. Oh, that's fine. So it looks like there's no Rashid in the most server. It's that deep dive. Turn 1. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, you don't deep dive on turn 1. Yeah, it is Rashid. Okay. I think they'd be happy with that draw. So luckily we have Diesel here. Like, that plays really, really dodgy unless we have card draw in our hand. So our best case scenario is like Diesel into well, Trick Shot obviously, but even Jailbreak would be fine. Server 1 looks like defensive upgrade, isn't rezzed, not a Jinja, or sorry, Tranquility. Second Ice, we're playing the same game. We would like a burner here. So DJ Fenris does not mark. Because Sable doesn't get the mark. And at start, Sable gets the mark at start of turn. Could be. So I'm going to ignore server 1. So we probably want to do... It's a bit awkward because we do DJ Fenner's Creative Commission. If that's a second Rashida, we're in a really, really bad spot. Other worst case is scoring out a Luminal, I guess. But we could do Nuka, draw Nuka. We don't need DJ Fenris now. We kind of do, actually. But we need a better hand than this. Yeah, that means we're not DJ Fenner sync here. Scoring on off-road would be the best. Shit. Damn. Okay. I don't know if that came off the Rashida or not. So Edward can win. Did not score out with a Seamless, which maybe you would just want to get the hedge fund back here. A Rashida coming back is probably worse for us. Cat, how's it going? You taking the day off today? I'm doing okay. I'm really... Added them a virus to HU. Why? Physarum? You can't really virus a Physarum in any reasonable way. Maybe there's a bluff potential here. I'm assuming. Like, now the question is whether there's a Seamless in hand. Okay, so the map is probably in their remote server. Again, the line is probably to run this, but I'm just going to ignore that. We have another deep dive. Okay. So if you don't install Ice, we actually can't click gain. So we wish we had a run event here. Like, we wanted a Trick Shot. There's 6 cards we wanted to draw into. We don't have them. So we're just gonna lock the top of R&D, hopefully. Maybe another Rashida. That's great. That's really good. Do we install the Muse or we just take a credit? We installed the Simul Chip. What do we have access to? Nothing. But now we're hopefully winning next turn. We just need to get enough money to hopefully win next turn. So I think we'll throw out the Simul Chip and a Cubon. So we can win next turn. Celebrating my mediocre levels of patriotism with gluttony and swimming. Oh, that's a good order, though. Wait, no, do it the other order. I have surprisingly spent more than one 4th of July in New York City. It just keeps happening. Been seeing you a lot in J now lately. All right, hedge fund. That's good. That's not Ice. They need to put down 2 Ice, and 2 Ice is an issue. We have Muse. So they need to res 2 Ice, and some of them have to be barriers. Because, like, Mavirus actually doesn't beat. Wait, no, Mavirus can beat. Not with Simul Chip. Okay, 2 Ice is not great. So R&D is the mark. Okay. So we probably just need to get our money down. So I think if we do Mayfly simulchip credit, like maybe that's enough. It's probably not. Yeah, it's probably not. I took a flight on the 4th around 8 p.m. leaving DC a few years ago. It was amazing. Saw a lot of fireworks. Oh, wild. Yeah, I guess if you fly high enough, that's totally fine, huh? That's pretty cool. Regolith, we're relatively happy with that. We'd be more scared of a second ice. So what's the worst case scenario for ice? R&D is the mark, so we want to start by running R&D. Whatever this ice is, like the idea is, can we, so we're assuming there's a virus in there. If a virus gets purged out with a simulchip, I think we just want to get some info on what this is. The worst case scenario here is we have to break a drafter for like 3 or 4. Like, sorry. Like, I think that's the only thing we oh, MIC is interesting. So thinking. So what do we do with MIC? The only way that we relatively well break MIC is we do Muse into Serum, which is all our money. In theory, Edward can resume a virus and then purge, and then we can simulchip back. If they crash the MIC, that's not very good for us. We actually need more money. We need more money. This is where we need draw window opportunities. Is there anything else? Can we just let this fire and then we can run HQ? I think it's unlikely Edward has an agenda in HQ, and I don't think we're going to simulchip back our Cubon. We could also consider breaking parts of this. It's like 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough. I think we let this fire and we click for a credit. That's not great. Why do we feel slow? How do we just get money? We're having a money issue. We would win if we had more money. Go fast? Yeah, it's hard to go fast at MIC. Are you on a flameout? Man in the Moon's asking. No, we're not. And flameout actually been really smart, because that would set up our mayflies to go speed running. That would be a really good idea. I think we have to let this fire. So the worst case to break this is 3 credits. If we do Muse for Slap Vandal. Yeah, we'll get it on the V2 for sure. Still thinking. And then at the end of the day, we still need Iqua credits. So I actually think we just lick our wounds here and we walk away. We would win if we had more money. Most Netrunner games. There's a lot of Netrunner games you don't win with more money. This is definitely one of them though. We don't have a gamble. We are on creative. We're on creative laundry. Trick shot. Trick shot is a good way to break R&D here. If we get our archives mark and we go from that, we're also fine. They have more money than they need. Sure gamble would be so hot right now. Yeah, it would be good. It would be good. But I actually think a trick shot would be better. Okay. The Mav has to be like this card here, which we actually would pinhole a Mav. Archives mark? HQ mark. I don't think they have an agenda in hand, but they have to respect us. Do we just buy a band's archives? I don't think we do. How many common cards do we actually have on this list? Not a lot. We have trick shots. We have 3 creatives. We have 3 dirty laundries, 2 coupons. I think that's it. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, and it's because it's not. We have window opportunity, which like Edward's beating window opportunity by emptying a regolith. But I think we just try and get money. That's something. Again, if our mark was anywhere better. But I think we actually do just like dirty laundry archives, credit, and then threaten to win next turn. Like 10 might do it. Overclock would be good. This doesn't sound like half your deck should be econ deck building. No, but this deck probably doesn't need to. The idea is that we want to cheese the game out a bit faster. MIC is uniquely not good for us. Oh, if this is an ADT, it's not great. I hope it's an off-off. Yeah, that's good. Just need a 3-pointer. So, oh no, it's definitely winnable. Well, in theory, next turn it can get out of control. Yeah, it's seamless back. So, archives mark, R&D mark. That's a good start. So we just run R&D. We may fly this. Or do we Physarum this? Thinking. So on average, what's the worst case that's on HQ that we have to break? If we Muse, we get a Physarum. I think we keep the Muse for, like, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. Hey, love. Oh my god, thank you. We got a digital Banhar bird. Oh, little falcon. Thanks, love. That turned out really nice. Full digital edition. This is what we need. We need this card. Why not poke HQ first? I think you're right. I just don't know whether they're going to crack the MIC or not. Yeah, let's find out some information first. So cute. Yeah, we showed off. We have a bunch of these for NANPC Montreal. My partner's been making tokens for stuff. So we have... Did I not run? We showed these off earlier. We have Falcon tokens. This is the digital one. This is the lore accurate bird. It's adorable, yeah. Yeah, the frog's great. We're gonna make a bunch of these in different colors, so there'll be a lot of options. I picked out a whole bunch of yarn. Do we care about Drafter? In theory, we could. This one's a bit cheaper to Mayfly. How much of this? Add one card from archives? You can do that. Add a card from archives, install a card. Do you have enough money to go to Montreal? Do you have enough vacation days? Solmir, Montreal in summer is kind of nice. You can come down end of August. It's a hell of a city. Now I need to go to Montreal. Kat, I hope you do. We'd love to have you. Border control. Okay. It's good to know that's not there. So now all we need to do is get a deep dive and we need to have 2 credits. So this cost us 5. It's credit perfect. The problem is the MIC tax. Do you have anywhere I can store Sable if I go? Probably not. I could ask my partner, but it's unlikely. How long is the drive from MIC? It's about 6 hours. How long am I willing to drive for Frog? The train is like 12 hours because you hit the border. The drive is like 6 hours. It's not that bad. If you take a bus, it's like 6 hours. Plus, depending if it's direct or not. It's really not that bad. I've done it a couple times. The train is reportedly very saying it's very good. The problem is they don't do border check at the border. They do border check. Like they don't do it when you get on the thing. They do it at the actual at the border. So the train has to stop and they have to check everyone. It's like, I don't know why they don't do it at when you board the train. It's a pain in the ass. So in theory, they can react here and resin a virus. They don't allow cats on 10-hour train ride. I checked. Really? I thought they would. So the MSC has to get cracked there. Yeah, it's about a 6-ish drive. I don't have a car. I have no doubt, Kat, that you'd be able to drive up with other folks from either New York or from the Northeast, if you can get to the Northeast. You do, but only on approach. So if you do that, I just use a simulchip. It still might be the play, though. Couple of routes you can take as well. I recommend the Vermont way for a really nice drive. Yeah, the drive is really nice. If you can go through Vermont, it's much nicer than New York. As someone who's done the drive a couple times the last couple months. Yeah, do it up. Just do it manually. Just trash the Mav, and I'll trash the chip. It's harder to fix that. So the very important thing is you can only res non-ace cards during approach. So now they probably still have to crack the MIC. We know the border control's in hand. That's going to be bad. Are we too poor for Iqua? Oh my god, it's deep dive then Iqua. That's correct. Yeah, Kat, that's really, really bad. Oh my god, I did all the math wrong. Yeah, we're short credits here. We need this to be a trick shot, or an overclock or a trick shot. Even though I live in upstate New York now, Vermont is much nicer, yeah. No. 1 click? Will I be? So lose 1, 2, 1. That's correct. Yeah, I don't think we go for it. I think we botched this. We always hit the last 2-pointers. It's so unlikely. With 2 off-worlds, 1 ADT out. Like, we're looking at 3 cards in 22. Maybe. In theory, they don't know that we don't have the money. Because in theory, we could dirty laundry archive, so they... I mean, turn 7. I couldn't steal that. I couldn't steal that off of the deep dive. I didn't even have the money to steal that off of deep dive. It's just that easy. Okay, we should fix the deck, but I think the deck there's ideas in this deck that work. I think Flameout is actually a fun idea with Window of Opportunity. That is a hardware you want to install. Yeah, you don't know that though. I might have Dirty Laundry. Something for archives. So it's still a fair play. Yeah, I think we only played one Dirty Laundry, but like you could, oh, we played 2 Dirty Laundry. So yeah, probably we don't have it there. Well played. Thanks again. Yeah, Edward, if you're watching the replay, we definitely would have contested remote server 1. Like, we're playing in a way that probably, like, if you watch this game and think this is a learnable replay, it unfortunately isn't, in terms of, like, macro play. Like, we definitely should have contested the server turn 1. Deep dive for 2 points on turn 1 is ass. Dan, we're speedrunning. We're just trying to play as fast as possible, trying to win as quickly as possible. So we're playing Arisana with 3 deep dives and just, like, Mayfly, Slap Metal, just cheesing through ice. That BC is... It's a total nightmare for me. Yeah, I think they were in such a good position with their remote server. If they understand our game plan, they just double ice us central like we're cooked. Yeah, I think they can afford to slow down there. I missed the first 2 hours. This is our first game with it. Like the first hours we played the Thule deck of list of the week. It's incredibly hot in this room. I have a headache. I think Synchron posted a deep dive list with Ari a while back was on Hermes. It was really interesting to tempo speedrun hit. Yeah, that's cool. Our console hasn't come up. And like I think Hermes is interesting because like if you break one server, then like you can open up a second server. It's just like our weird influence is spent on we're seeing how bad Window or how good Window is. And a Window but it requires presenting the off-world score. Yeah, I think you can I'm never running the remote. So this is not a good learning from this because I'm trying to be as central aggro as possible, which you shouldn't exactly be in this matchup. But regardless, you can definitely keep the off-world not scored in the remote. Multiple turns. Yeah, I can't deal with the remote server. It looked like 2 upgrades, 2 ice. Like, there's no reason to score this out as quickly as you do. You can definitely hunker down. Once you see that the opponent deep dives on turn 1, like, clearly something's funky. I think you just respect that. Thanks for the game. Hey, cheers. Can't wait for my Liberation Cycle cards to show up. Looks like maybe Monday. Oh, did you get the whole cycle? All right, how do we make this better? How do we not fold? Oh, that was technically our second game. Sorry. So Cubon is not it. We don't have enough card draw. Onicom should be a card draw. It also feels a bit slow. We are on 3 jailbreaks already. I think we just need like more money for running, which is either Overclock or Flameout. And I think Overclock actually might just be fine. Because Flameout with Window Opportunity means we can install the Mayfly from hand. That's actually kind of cool. Oh, is in cutting the jailbreaks, they don't make you money? No, they don't. But they touch cards. Play Saucy? I don't know, because I don't want to. Like, I don't want Window Opportunity to be there for Saucy. Maybe. I just feel like if I draw Saucy when I'm trying to cheese the game, like, I don't care. You know what I mean? How's it going, by the way? This seems okay. This is a 7 credit econ play, but also, like, there's a chance Overclock is just good enough. And then we can play 3 Mayfly, 2 Muse, a Fizzarum, Peach of Chance, slap 3 Snap Handles. You don't need to touch cards, you have 3 deep dive. We need to touch the first agenda. I think we want to touch the first agenda. It is technically card draw. I don't want Window Opportunity to make me 6 credits. No, I want to install my Mayfly. Let me have my thing. Fine. But like, there's no way we're musing for a Saucy, right? So we just have to draw it. I meant to cut this. Is Overclock better than Flameout? Overclock works with Muse, it works with Fizzarum, it works with Mayfly. Flameout only works with Mayfly. That is making me think that we don't play Flameout. I'm getting Liberation Cycle as well as the Ashes Cycle, which I never picked up. Oh, super cool. Ashes is like, you know, it's the first set, but there's some really, really cool stuff in there. It's been really incredibly important. Like, I don't know. I'm a huge As fan. Let's try this. Let's try this. I don't know how to get more card drawn here. I think we just need to afford, what's it called? We need to afford buy bands, which that shouldn't be a high bar, right? 1x spree, yeah, we had a spree, we cut it. I think you're right, 1x spree might be fine. Especially with that saucy. With the saucy spree is actually really cool. As McCaffrey. I keep getting thrown a loop for when YouTube pings me whenever someone mentions jailbreak in a sentence. Does it actually ping you when someone says jailbreak? The only person more maligned than that is the card Shiro. That anytime someone writes Hoshiko in the chat. Spree Saucy sounds like some premium jank. It sounds fun. Like, maybe. I don't know, maybe Saucy's exactly what we want. Maybe Ian's onto something. Like, it is aggressive and gives us money. If they don't res, we win. If they res, we win. The text is highlighted. That is so funny. There was a long time where the Hoshiko Shiro just got interrupted by Shiro being the piece of ice. No cards with super not the best in it. Not yet. It's possible that Maurich ends up in a card. It's like, those words could happen. The problem though is like our PB has been pretty bad because our PB was turns. Our PB was not time. We should actually look at the timer. What is the chance that this deck is worse than just running Mercury and playing 3 Inside Job, 3 Debrado, and 3 Deep Dive? Have you played Saucy Arsana? It's like having more coupons in the deck. I have played Saucy Arsana. It was actually one of the first decks I played when Saucy came out, and it was so toxic. It wasn't very good, and people didn't know how to play into it, but it was incredibly toxic, like Rubicon Switch toxic, even before Window came out. And I'm convinced like Window is a better card, like will be a better card than it is. Like everything it does is pretty okay. It's just like criminal decks don't install that many hardwares or programs for it to be like that good on that many board states. Like to me, when I read Trick Shot, I thought it was gonna be as nuanced as like Window, where there's like some board states where it's not good, but it's not Trick Shot. I like Window a lot in set release. I didn't at all, and I think it is gonna be a card that like I'm so surprised that it's not a 3 of an As decks. Like it sounds like it should be, but like we just need one weird criminal. Or like criminal need enough utility programs and utility hardware that are playable. Flamin' Raven. I don't know this name. Let's make a new friend. Shit. Wait, 45 card PE? Okay. Hey. Best of luck, have fun. All right, this is gonna be a. We always have like a really strong strategy until our opponent does anything, and by does anything I mean tries to hurt us. Don't like his hand. Fizzarum is good, but we want a deep dive turn 1. I'm gonna respect nothing. I'm gonna respect as little as possible. We're gonna send it. Hopefully he doesn't make money so that we actually have to worry about snare. Weird as it is, 3x. Window is weird as a 3x. There are a lot of times in the early game that it just sits in grip. Yeah, it's like, what's it called? It's like Into the Depths. But in theory, actually, Window's really good in a lot of matchups on turn 1. Okay. We're speedrunning. Remember that, we're speedrunning. Do not look at this to be like this is a teaching moment. Faff! This is fine, we're speedrunning. We're speedrunning. Okay, what did we die to on the table? We died to a lot of stuff. We died to Urtica, we died to Sting, we're speedrunning. This is a risky strat. Rashida, nailed it. We should probably clear the tag. We can't have that few cards in hand. Okay, that was a slow turn, but we did a lot of damage. Yeah, we damage boost. That's a good point. That's a damage boost. Oh, we need Steel Skin so we can actually damage boost. Oh, that'd be so good. Oh, this little burst is really good. That was a really good counter. No Windows 95. We can only afford 3. We lost Diesel. We might have wanted to Diesel first click there. We did keep the DJ. Let's draw. I'm gonna 1 minute 48. He can't fire another snare. Trickle Light. Okay. Fuji. We're alive. They can choose not to fire this. They didn't. I'm not going to touch any of these cards, okay? Draw. We don't die to much because he doesn't have money. All right, one deep dive wins the game. We have only Hannah for click gain. You might notice our credit pool is getting lower and lower. That's fine. His credit pool is barely snareable. Alec, how's it going? Punid. 2.5-minute game. Good game. Okay. Got us good. Got us very, very good. That's how it goes. Thanks for the game. We got speedrunned. I told you, play Punitive. It's the best speedrunning card. I want to boot up some Island of Dr. Brain. Game of Choice, why'd you say that? Island of Dr. Brain was so good. I played so much of that as a kid. Wait, actually, I'm not sure which one I played. Which is the one with spelunking in it? Reset the run. Time to go. Yeah, 2:54. The timer's still going. Okay, we hit it. They catch around. Was it credit perfect punitive? I think they boosted once. Oh, no. Forget this, we need to play Isle of Dr. Brain, which is the one that had a bunch of mini games, like the cave rock music one, the traffic one, spelunking, the alchemy one. There's a bunch of Dr. Brain games, and the one that I played the most is the one that I'm describing. I don't know if it's Island of. It might be the Mind of Dr. Brain or something. That's the Time Warp of Dr. Brain. Oh, that one is so good. I played it as a kid, so like it was challenging because I was a child, and I want to see how hard it is now. Dying to me damage on turn 2 is like 90% of my game's Netrunner. Hey, welcome to there's actually a lot of decks right now in the standard format that are just trying to punitive you. Hey Spiff, happy 4th. Uh-oh. The problem is we haven't learned anything because we're not allowed to learn anything. We just have to rip it. Imagine we had free card draw from Jailbreak. Okay, this is good. Anacom is good. Best of luck, have fun. Like, our opponent is probably thinking like, what, they've learned nothing. They're just sending it turn 1 again. PE 2.0. Putt-putt? Yeah, putt-putt was good. Putt-putt was the train, right? Or the boat? Putt-putt goes to the moon? Yeah, we got all those CD-ROMs from the library. They were pretty good. We also didn't run the remote servers, besides the Rashida that we sniped, which made us really good at the game. So I think we just do Onicom. We probably bans the Onicom because it actually triggers, which is sick. Yeah, Freddy Fish and Pajama Sam. Those were all the sort of like CD-ROM era stuff we played. Oh, also like, what are the Jumpstart? Jumpstart like 4th and 5th grade were killer. The haunted house one was very good. If I lose the diesel here, I will be upset. Stink. Nailed it. You want to steal those. We lost the diesel. And then, where did our money go? So punitive on 1 is not going to happen. We didn't play a lot of Spy Fox. We had a bit of Spy Fox. All the public library. I think being on 3 cards in hand is probably fine. We did that turn way too slow, I'll be honest. We need to speed up. Okay. They are on Trigger Light. Hopefully they actually score something. We are not the one who knocks. They are the one who speedruns. Are you kidding me? On turn 1? What a play. I was going to expect this player to be on 45 PE and like they'd be figuring out the game. No. This is some shark. They're absolutely destroying us on every angle. Like, what is going on? They can't fire snare. We're invulnerable. Where's our deep dives? You're getting dunked on? I'll be the first to say it. We're getting so dunked on. We're going to window opportunity anemone. Oh my god, what is this card? We shouldn't trash that. It's a bad draw for them, but we're just touching cards. Okay, that's a bad draw too. You thought we were the speedrunner, but you're actually the game? Yeah. And like their game is on easy mode. We're just running like this. Oh my god. Now we have to run every install advance. Fuji Regenesis turn 1. Man, that gets you. We have to we legally have to check it. We're required by law to respect Regenesis here. It's an Urtica. That's fine. It's going to hit an event and we'll draw a card. It hit no events. In theory, we should trash that. Because they're on Trick of Light. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're really good. Because we're going to win. The deep dive is going to see. Did we lose all our click gainers? We've lost our DJ and we lost our Hannah. Okay, we just touch cards, Andre. Don't think. Fuck. No, they can't afford it, but we legitimately don't have an answer to that guy. Oh, that's bad. Could he use a spot of econ? No. This is fine. We have 3 overclocks, I think. Okay, they installed a Knights, which means now we can... And then they drew. Like, it's such a weird mix of, you know, the 45 card, but then also they're just absolutely annihilating us. So buy a bans will mean we don't have money. We need money for deep dive. But this draws 3 cards. This is probably the anemone. We can't think. We just have to go. This respects Regenesis in a way that's more interesting. Okay. Install a card. Free Nuka is good. A Mav and a Tattoo Bola. Wow, they're throwing ice out. Did we install a Simul chip? Doesn't do anything, does it? No, it doesn't. How do we gain clicks? We need to basically use the Muse to get the Peach of Champ, which means we need 5 credits to deep dive. And with the deep dive needs to survive. Let's not pretend that's not going to be an issue. Oh, they're clicking for credits. That's good. They can't res an Anansi. They can res, and then they draw, right? Like, parts of this are really, really well thought out, and then the other turns like this, maybe they're setting up a Regenesis play? We have to not lose deep dive from hand to anemone? Yeah, I know, but we're not going to break it. Good luck. In theory, we have to have priority. I'll say no action. There is an enemy. Okay. So we can respond to that after we see where the damage comes. Shit, it was bad. It was really bad. At this point, we don't break any of these. That was also the worst hit. Okay. Now we technically have to check archives or we could lose. How much damage does Sting do? I don't know. 3? Doesn't matter. But we have to respect Regenesis here. There's only one more. There's definitely an agenda in here, right? Fuji. I mean... Okay, hear me out. You're dead, bruv? No, we're not. We're good. We're good. We're totally fine. Like, running HQ and winning, that's probably the play. It was probably the play. Obviously, like, now we don't die to punitive, I don't think. The speedrun line was to run HQ there. Or to run R&D. But that dies to the table, it dies to punitive. Too big to fail. 2x punitive. That's like the Tithonium PE energy. So we've seen 2 Urticas. We're going to run this 100%. No action. Non-equivalent exchange. Non-equivalent exchange. There was a card like that I used to play back in PE days. Diesel for cards. Trick shot. Continue to go R&D. Break none of these. If they want to threaten snare, they have to res the Charlotte here, which looks like a Charlotte. We lost the Viserum. We could have broken it. Yes! Got it. 6 turns, 8 minutes, sub 10. Thanks for the game. There's no way they have to read on how we're playing because we're not playing in any way that makes sense. Yeah, that might be the new PB. I think our PD game was a bit slower because we thought it out. Nice game. That Regenesis was sick. Yeah, our Regenesis was incredible. Like they did the good play. We just like touched cards. I'm surprised they're on this. Probably that they have some. Well, I think value. See how they run's like not the worst. So do you have any icebreakers? Yeah, we have Slap Vandal. We have Mayfly. If you're asking for icebreakers that look different than those two, no, that's all we have. And we have a Fizerum, which is technically not an icebreaker. It is a silver bullet? No, I don't think it's a silver bullet. Yeah, so we're just trying to go as fast as we can. Good run, Grats. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You'll see on the readable words. Hey, catch you around. Oh. I think they're using the term silver bullet differently than I would. Silver bullet for me means like a card you put in that like really helps a certain matchup. I think here they mean more like I'm assuming. You need to gamble? Oh yeah, 100% you gamble. But hey, you're playing PE traps. Like you're gonna gamble. You got Urtica in your deck. Genesis is a tech card? Actually, sort of. Sometimes, yeah. Like I can see it being a tech card if you're like really upset about Maw or you're really upset about Essa, but yeah. How's it going, by the way, Sneak Dory? No, 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 no. Aw, 3 times? I'm stuck in a personal hell. This is the tables have turned. Hey again. Oh my. So like, what is the unspoken etiquette? Is the unspoken etiquette after you play someone like you don't? And I'm not complaining yet, but like, are you don't? I try not to, right? Like I give them space. They would accept me asking to play someone else. I just feel so rude. But I do not enjoy playing against P online. Do we respect Regenesis turn 1? No, we're deep diving turn 1. They're doing it. They're discarding a card. Credit, discard a card. It'd be so sick. Ice. No. So still, if this is an anemone, which is what's threatening, do we want to just die to Sai Santana on turn 1? No. Well, yeah, actually we do. This PE will continue until morale. We spoke about Tithonium until morale improves. Let's go. But play Barf Thule. I'd actually rather play this because we can just send it on this. They didn't res, so I'm assuming that's expensive. If we still have Fuji, we die, right? Oh my god. We see a Sting and Regenesis and that's it. We could die to the table, I think. So we have to take the Regenesis. What a terrible deep dive. I think this PE deck actually makes sense. Like it's playing like Archer and PED is totally fine. Like this sort of weird mix of things is it's not dissimilar to other PE decks we've seen. Do we die to double punitive here? No. Now they can res their ice on R&D, and we don't have a shot again. Don't deep dive turn 1. In general. What did we lose? We lost our Nuka. Bummer. Draw. I don't think it's table snare. Okay. Draw. All right, 2 points, 2 minutes. Pretty good. Good split so far. Probably has agendas in hand. The Fujis have to be somewhere. Did he mull? He mulled, so he has Fujis in hand. So we do Nuka, draw, run server 3. We probably don't run that. Dirty Laundry would be sick here. I think we buy a bands. Actually, what are we buy a bandsing for? Hopefully we draw something. Oh, that's really good. Anemone. Okay. Creative. Go. Just as fast as we can. What did we see? We saw an archer. We saw anemone, and we just saw something. Oh, crap. No, that's not an agenda. Anemone. That's not an agenda. We don't run those. It could be a Fuji, honestly, because they probably had a Fuji in hand by now. I think that's a Fuji. I don't think we run that. The problem is, like, if this is an Anansi, it's, like, obviously not great for us. The only way we break Anansi is a Mayfly, and that's really expensive. Yeah, let's start here. Do we just trick shot and force him to spend 8 on Anansi? It's probably not a great line. Can Muse... One non-Damon program. Always just trick shot? Now that you put it like that, yeah. Because we can Muse for a Mayfly, I think. Most runners like to do 1 point skip, but since it's marathon set, we're taking a safer route. Yeah. Okay, it is an Anansi. So we have 8 credits. Math. So if we Fizarium it, the subroutines don't fire, but we take 3 damage. That's actually totally fine, considering the way that we're playing this game. The other option is if we Muse for a Mayfly, which is 3, and then we break this for all of it. Now, we'll just Muse for the... It looks like we don't know what we're doing because this is a bad interaction. But this is better than anything else. Like, we just don't break Anansi in this deck. We'll take 3 damage. But they also now can't fire Snare, and they can't order their deck. Well, shit. Keep the Nuka, please. I totally forgot we're going to see 2... Okay, so we run server 3, we died at an enemy. We're kind of probably died at punitive here. We stole 4 points. So we just need to get cards. Told you? You didn't tell us anything. What did you tell us? Oh, that we should trick shot? Yeah, but it's also going to kill us, I think. Frame perfect 5 points. All right, thinking. You are doomed. I don't like that. So we need to basically top deck a Diesel and play a Diesel. Our odds of that are, well, we can't think about it. If we run server 3, we die at Anemone. Yeah, we just draw. A Diesel? So we click for credit. They can still, yeah, we just have to hope there's no punitive. Do we die to a Sting on the table? We died to Fuji on the table. Agenda's an HQ. Yeah, we probably should just run HQ. It's more like, why are they clicking for credit? Oh, punitive. So they had it. Yeah, we probably should run HQ there. I think that's the line that wins more often than not. Very good game. I don't want to do this again. We're not allowed to play this matchup. 6 turns. If we got a 6 points, we should have sent it HQ. Do you have any... Oops. Yeah, I think HQ is strictly correct there, because we very likely die unless we like 1 and 2 and 24 draw a Diesel. And even then, it's 4 damage. 1, yeah, okay. That was the line for sure. Yeah, I think that was the line. Thanks for the games. Okay, I'm going to wait for a minute to hopefully that they queue up into someone else, because I don't want to play against P 4 times. But Fast and Loose is getting there. Like, we're touching points. The deck has, because it's only on, 45 cards, it does have a point to card ratio that is favorable for touching points. I can play my own Jeggy deck. Yeah, Spark, if you want to. I wonder who that ghost is playing against Invader. Interesting. Are they waiting for us? They didn't join this game. Join. All right. Thanks, Spark. Want to play into a different Jateki deck? I don't know. I don't think we have an Anansi answer. Oh, Sports Medal. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be really interesting. Oh, fascinating. Oh, I forgot to ask this too. So for Montreal NANPC, the second day is going to have a side tournament. And last year we did Startup. And from my understanding, Startup is probably not something people enjoy playing at this moment. Is there a format that people have been really enjoying in terms of like Throwback or the EMEA version of Throwback? Let's talk about this hand. Onicom Dirty Laundry, we're gonna mulligan. 3 trick shots, we're gonna win. While you're waiting, any advice you have on finding a net deck specifically to learn and get better at the game? Yeah, Dane, we probably have them open. I highly recommend, almost always. Did we close it? My 2 recommending decks for learning to play the game is, I'm just gonna search Rotom Appliance. They do sidereal. Well, last time people played other side games, like there was games of New Angeles. So I'd actually recommend these 2 decks. I'll link them in the chat. Sable is just good stuff. Aggression. You have enough breakers. You have an economy. You have a lot of triggers. You want to be running consistently with Sable. Just very good. Very straightforward enough to play. No real like frills. And then PD is just PD. This deck has been the same deck since 2021 and it's just very good and it forces you to play well and clean. I think these are the 2 easiest ones to play. Sable is a bit more tricky in terms of like there's a lot of more things to worry about, like running your mark and like all these start a turn triggers. Zaya, you can swap in Zaya and play the same deck, cut 5 cards if you really need to. Those are both really good places. What happened? Mulligan? No, keep. Okay, well, the question is, do we afford an Onicom? I don't think we afford an Onicom. I think we just trick shot. Day 2 Arcs tournament? I haven't played Arcs yet. I know Shut Up and Sit Down just loved it. I'm not sure if it's exactly my thing. Wait, why are we thinking? We're not thinking. We're just hard at cardsing. We have to top deck create a commission for this to be good. Okay, we're winning. This is going to be a game changer deck for sure. It's trashed. Server 1. It's trashed. Trash a Jinja. Powers that be. It's trashed. We draw a card. It's a Muse. Okay, we need credits. We probably don't trick shot again. Oh man, it feels so good. No, we need money. Okay, that's good. We'll go from there. It's so awesome. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Anytime you can ask. Those are really great decks. They're straightforward. They're like promote really good fundamentals where the things you're worrying about are applicable to almost every other deck you'll pick up to some extent. The idea of like, what's a scoring window? What's pressure look like? Building multi-axis, caring about both burst economy and economy over time. Shut Up, Sit Down have convinced me to pre-order Arcs. I think it's in stores. I don't know if you have to pre-order it. I think you can just buy it. Trick shot again, you coward. I was considering it. But I think I want to set up the deep dive on the same turn. Because I wanted the trick shot to do this. We probably should have still done it, but like, all right. So we need to draw. There's no playable econ from this. Restore, that's cursed. Red level clearance, that's not good. Mega Pre, okay. That's a problem. This deck has no ice. The problem with Arcs that I think I'm going to run into, I'll check this if it's a Rashida, is that I'm not very good at games where I have to attack other people. It's a Bass. Okay, so they probably can do something pretty messed up here. Run HQ. Red level. Credit. Are we going to do that 3 turns in a game? Arc is just getting to backers? Oh, okay, then I probably did see it in 4-1 games under pre-order. Excuse me. The weird thing about Arcs too is like the base box is small. It's like the campaign stuff, which is optional, but arguably not optional. That's where the big like struggles to fit into a Calyx box. It might fit into Calyx, but you know what I mean? But the actual Arcs box itself is like the root box. It's tiny. That's kind of really cool. Oh, we just need money here. Restore? Powers that be. Okay, that's what we have to trash. This only sees 1 new card? No. Yeah, the base game is really easy to move around. I'll deal with server 6. Limiting the recursion seems important. We have a money problem. This is why Dirty Laundry is really good. I just don't know how to make more money. Okay. Do they draw? We know 1 gain. Okay. So this is probably on all the 1-pointers. Core damage for sure. I don't know if it's on Iqua. For Iqua, obviously we need like a click gainer somewhere. But I'll always be hosting any campaign games at my home. Hospitality? I think if you reprint Shock, you have to RFG it, right? Nightmare Archives, right? Powers that Be's coming back? Come on. Not like this. This deck also has no ice. Why are we playing it to iceless decks? We complained about too little ice and complained too much ice. We are a parody. This could be the Sand, yeah. Draw. Oh, Dirty Laundry is good. Credit. R&D is unknown. We can't steal Nikoa, but it might be on 1-pointers. Yeah, it is on 1-pointers. So it probably is going to do a full combo in a turn, which means you need, what's it called on the table? The powers that be, which is in hand. So Spark could have it combo this turn, but like you need a Sanson on the table. I think this is like probably close to a 7-point combo deck. But we really need to do something aggressive in the next couple turns. It might not be on Nikoa's. Go look at the accesses. Thank you, Dustide. Good night. Greasing. So that has, we have to like just trash the greasing the palms. Or sorry, wow. Trash the powers that be. We played 3 trick shots. They're pretty good. It's weird. My question is like, how do you get free money in Netrunner? Like this would be a, what's it called deck? A crowdfunding deck. Like we have to trash the right stuff or we lose. Or we could just find a Nikoa. We have to trash that. They restored it, so they might not have another one. Shit. I think that's the most important thing to trash. Otherwise we lose the game. This is probably anti-synergistic with our game plan in general. Yeah, it probably is. So how many 1-pointers do you need to be on? 20 1-pointers? So there has to be a Quaz there. So maybe we just run R&D and run HQ. We can't deep dive unless we have 2 credits, but if we steal a 1-pointer, or like if we find a Luminal, maybe we can deep dive out. We probably lose here. We can't steal Iqua, which is a bummer. Okay. Them not having points is good, but like discard down? Oh yeah, we have core damage. So Onto is a 3-2. I don't think this does anything. Yeah, it's weird. I feel like a lot of our deck is blank in this matchup. It's just touch cards. Which, as much pressure we putting on, I think we'd rather be on like Stargate. So our turn is like credit, run RD, run HQ, run HQ. Probably. Fast break doesn't have a trash cost, right? It does not. Okay. We haven't checked these in a minute. I think we should check these. How much money do we need to check these? At least Iqua credits, I guess. Okay. So we can just win this turn. There's an agenda on the table. We're just going to check everything on the table. Yeah, okay. 8 minutes, 53. Not bad. GG. There's definitely a combo there, but we didn't run the table for a couple turns, especially on no credits. So I think they thought we could push out. Are there Iqua in there? Oh no, all 3 fast break in the bottom. That makes sense. Because 1 fast break draws like half the deck that you're most likely going to see everything else. But yeah, we just touched cards. No ice. I think trashing these are actually super important because this actually snowballs backwards. Maybe we're not that worried about that early because I don't know what they're reinstalling on the table. Like Sansan coming back is a problem. Nightmare Archives was bad RNG. It was like not great that we lost the buy-bans, but I don't think we could afford the buy-bans. Aye. Next game. Money. Like, we probably should play a daily cast. Daily cast sounds as slow as it can get. But we just have a money problem. And admittedly, we trashed a lot of stuff there. But I didn't want to do this the first time. Are we re-rolling the seed? In Fort Bravado, it's like honestly not the worst idea. The window of opportunities have been absolute garbage, but like we played so many cursed matchups. When never in games take 10 minutes, in a stream you can get a lot of games in. You can get data real quickly. How many times did you not have punitive in PE on turn 2? On 1 credit? Yeah, a lot. Turns out a lot. God, trick shot's so good. No! That's cursed. Okay, we're still gonna do it. We have a mayfly. That means we can trick shot. It's just, it sometimes be that simple. What are you gonna do, res ice? That's right. Are you... Man, punitive's everywhere. Tranquility? Yeah. What's with that? Go. It feels like everybody's just jamming punitive in things. Is this the open deck list conversation happening? All right, so we know punitive in hand. What was the other card we saw? Seamless in hand. I should try Mayfly my DD deck. Yo, Arizona, I don't know what we're missing. So far we've been like playing like absolute, like just sending it. But we're Mayfly and then we're on overclock. There's a chance that flame out makes sense, but we're on window opportunity, which is like hasn't done its thing yet. I mean, why not? I'm assuming that this Thule deck's on as few agendas as possible if it's on punitive. Like it's probably on, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be on the big 5/3 that is core damage. I'm assuming it's just on Iqawas and something else if you're on punitive. Like this is probably not on small ones. Ablative. Okay, well that's good. God, trick shot just messed up. Messed up. Trick shot, what the heck? I don't think we need more money. We need more card draw. I also thought, Alex, that you had a single Mayfly in your deck. I thought you did. Clearly the way to beat punitive is to play mechanicites and stim implants. The other one D said Botulus. Oh, it's a Botulus. Right. Okay, so we've seen 2 Tranks. There's a Seamless in hand, so like we probably should respect this. We're gonna go HQ. We'll just install our Mayfly if we need to. There's probably not agendas in here. Bloop, okay. I don't think there's 2 bloops. I mean, we probably shouldn't do this because we can't steal Iqawas. Oh, we lost a click, so we're definitely not going to. So do we want to spend 2 credits and lose our Mayfly? Or do we want to spend a credit and click and take a core damage? I think we want to keep our Mayfly. So now we have to worry about Bloop. Bloop is a lot of money to break, but we don't care about the trash program subroutine. So we can take a core damage here. We can't steal Iqawa, so it's not that bad. A single core damage is fine. Draw 2. Stall card. Ooh, that's good. Trank, found the last one. Crap. No Rashida? Can't be the 3rd Trank. Seamless is also all the money. Okay, so that's a Trank. Bloop is 3 credits. So we're trying to win. We can win this turn. We need to steal an agenda here, though. Oh, we can't take the core damage. It's fine. Bloop. Okay. Do we try and win this turn? Who am I kidding? Of course you're trying to win this turn. Okay. So now we win on 1. I guess we'll pay. We don't die to double. Well, we died to double punitive, but we saw one of the punitives in the deck. One's in hand. So Solamir would have to do credit or econ punitive. We're going to get goofed by active policing sooner or later, but we have a way to win the game here with the deep dive. 4 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes in. Not too bad. So Solamir's probably drawing for the punitive here. We could use an Onicom, but next turn is unfortunately a bit of a slow turn. If he has an agenda, it goes in the remote server, yeah. So on no money can we contest this. Thinking, oh, we shouldn't think. We should just run. What can this be? I think this is an agenda. I think we just run it. Oh, but we have no money because of Iqawa. Yeah, so we can't just run it. So Solamir has to seamless out an Iqawa. That's fine. We'll rebuild. Slap Vandal is all we need to get into R&D, so we can deep dive in this turn. The problem is we can't deep dive and respect Iqua. And unfortunately, the deck is on 3 Iquas, 3 Ontologicals, probably, what's it called? It's probably Ontologicals, it's probably 6 3-pointers. I'm assuming it's 6 3-pointers. Like, maybe it actually is on the thing that does core damage. What's it called, the one that does core damage? Oh, that's bad for us. Immediately something happens. Oh, that's not good for us. Salvo testing, yeah, that's the one. If it's a bloop, we take a lot of core damage. We can use it in theory. This actually looks like an NGO front now, that it wasn't scored out. It's a bloop, okay, so the pulse was derezzed. So the bloop, if there's a virus, the bloop fires. Oh, it's 1 core damage. We don't care about 1 core damage. If we slap into, we lose the slap into. I think we just take a core damage. Just don't hit the deep dive or just the deep dive. That's also not good. And Geofront would be really bad. Managarm? Sick. We win. 7 minutes, sub 7, let's go. Hey, GG. It didn't want to seamless it? Yeah, face checking there I think was right. We're expecting that to be a bloop because it wasn't res like 3 times into the trick shots. But that's sub 7. Yeah, not bad. I think that's a new PP. Hype. Marathon setting. If it was an NGO, it's really bad for me. But I saw no NGOs on my dives, so whatever. Probably shouldn't have rezzed the pulse right off the bat. It was pretty good. I think you needed to. Maybe not. Maybe if you're respecting. But I can't DD until I find Hannah with 9.8 Iqua. Yeah, it's really hard to deep dive into Iqua. It's really, really hard. Because we've never done... Actually, no, against PU, we did steal 2 agendas in the same... No, we've never stole 2 agendas in the same deep dive, right? We just don't get our clicks fast enough. We should probably play more Pichashons. We have 1 Pichashon, Alex, but like we have 2 muses and we're not getting them consistently. Like I think Pichashon is so important for our combo deck that we should just have more Pichashon because we'll just install it. It costs 1, I think. Thanks for the game. And like that forces reses. Yeah. I don't think I would have done it now. But that is a line we have to keep in mind. After the ice is rezzed, we can just get the Pichashon if we can get through it. So we could have Pichashon through the what's it called? The code gate on R&D if we wanted to. Yeah, it might have been correct. It probably was correct, strictly. What time is it? No, I keep doing that. 11:35, we can do one more. They were short on cash? Yes, we were short on cash. Consistently all the time. Outfit. Oh, 63 card outfit? What is this? 62 card outfit? The problem with the bigger deck size is like you can't play around it. Best of luck, have fun. Because like the thing with the outfit is you really want to draw, get bad publicity as quickly as possible. So you want to draw your Valenchows, your the ones that, oh man, window opportunity is also really bad into outfit. How has every matchup window opportunity been terrible? Is it just bad? But like you don't really want to do to res derez. At least bad publicity is good for our Arsana has no money. But Valenchow and Trebuchet is what we're playing around. This might just be assets. Oh man. No trick shot. Do we deep dive on turn 1? We can't steal SDS, so I don't think we do. Iced up HQ, interesting. A lot of times against trick shot, you ice up R&D there, because trick shots are really good here. In theory, we should Arsana Slap Vandal just so we can steal SDS drone deployment. It also uses some of our credits. I mean, that's the second time that's been the first axis. Fractal threat matrix. All the subroutines? We don't break all the subroutines. We're gonna die to public trail end of line. Refuge campaign, that's influence, right? 3 influence. Wow, okay. I guess we clear the tag so we don't die. Worst case, that's a Rashida. Miss the deep dive? Yeah. I don't know if we want to float a snare. Sorry, a tag. Into 1 credit, maybe. So fractals in hand and unknowns in hand. Wall-to-wall can advance whatever it wants. It doesn't care. Yeah. We can still deep dive this turn. Oh, the snare missed the deep dives. Yeah, you're right. It did. Should we deep dive? I think we're going to learn a bit about the... Oh, we can't afford to. So let's get dirty laundry. Dirty laundry? Oh, that's fine. So server 3 should run. What are we expected to res here? Nothing. What are we expected to trash? Nothing. Rashid is the worst case. There should be no worst case. The deck is inconsistent. Okay, that's not great. I don't think we can afford Onicom. Like, maybe we should be playing Pantograph because it's cheaper and then it lets us snowball a bit better. I honestly think Pantograph might be better for our deck because we can't afford 3 credits for this. We're also not running enough money. We should just have sure gambles. I think this deck will struggle to survive window of opportunity. This wall-to-wall is really good for them. For him. Excuse me. So we can probably go off this turn. Ice on HQ on 3 credits could easily be an Afshar. But yeah, there's a lot of variance with a deck of this size. Oh, that's really good. We'll just do this because it's free. Winchester, okay. Worst case scenario here. No worst case scenario. All scenarios are good. Sick. We have no way to gain clicks. So we could die to punitive here, but that's our game plan. There's nothing in here, but this looks... There's a lot of influence across a lot of cards. It's a borehole deck. Front company, hostile, snare, spin doctor, super deep, Winchester. I'm gonna touch a snare. Just gonna touch a snare. Just gonna get rid of that. Yeah, it's these sort of decks are particularly inconsistent. Like, it's this many cards. It's probably on as few 3-pointers as it can because it doesn't seem like it's looking to score out, which is like the frustrating. Okay, so look at this. This deck was, how many cards was it? It was 63? How many agenda points do you have to play in a 63-point card deck? Okay, so cards in the deck, it was 63, right? 42 plus 4 is 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 5, 6, 7, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So let's say we're playing 64. So I don't know how many agendas that is. Let's say that's 10. Are we getting punitive? Value punitive. Oh, wild. Okay. That's just going to happen. We lost a deep dive. Is that enough? 10? Hello? 0, 0. No, we need 26 to 27. So what's 26 divided by 3? That would be 27, which is 9. So how many accesses do we need on average? Give me 1 second. Start a turn. We need simulation. Argus Crackdown, that doesn't do anything on R&D. They can't fire snare. Still simulating. Draw. 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 Touch card. 19 accesses is pretty bad. That's not good. Yeah, 9 3-pointers. Crackdown was only ice servers. If it wasn't, it'd be so toxic. Shuffling 2 spin to snares back. Oh man, we can't escape PE. Now this is the fractal threat matrix. This is the second spin doctor. They didn't draw the Winchesters because we shuffled the deck. Well, he could have. We don't know. But we need a click gainer. So I think we're going to play this admittedly slightly slow, or we're going to try to steal 1 3-pointer from HQ. Like, we just want to force some money resist off of cards. He unlikely has a snare in hand. Hannah's really good, actually. Hannah might be all we need. There's no card rotating with Don miss more than snare. Don't worry, you have Behold or something. But, I don't want snare. Colossus. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Draw Hannah. Oh, create a commission actually might have been right, but we can win next turn if we can spend no money. The problem is like we'll probably have to slap Vendel in HQ. It's an urban. Okay. Hopefully that's just as long as we need. It also stops the wall to wall, which is good for us. Because cards and credits are both valuable for a deck like this. Yeah. The bigger the deck gets, the harder it is to play around it, right? Like, a lot of times you're having a good idea what this ice can be because it's one of 6 things. But now it's like, you know, one of many, many, many things. I don't think it makes the game more interesting, at least the way that I enjoy the game. Such as the Nova problem, right? Ampere problem. I'd be surprised if there isn't a snare near print. There's definitely a snare near print. Oh, maybe they can't afford ice now. On 3 credits, there's some ice they can res, like a cat and stuff like that. On 4 credits, so we probably take a turn off here. Let's poke R&D and see what happens. On 3 credits, there's no ice that's bad for us. We could also run archives. I don't know. They can't fire snare, so I want to touch cards. In theory, if nothing gets rezzed, we can win. Okay, that's not great. Oh, outfit hasn't fired once, has it? Wayland could use one. It would do a bit of meat damage. Sapper technically was the closest to it. Oh, do you think we win, y'all? Another fractal. Well, I think we're going to try. Like, it's what we're trying to do. We're over 7 minutes. Like, good luck us. Damn it. We see a punitive in there. No. So this is our only line. Oh, forced connection. Yeah, forced connection would be bad here too. Come on, hoard him. Oh man, there's 9 agendas and 64 cards? That's what? 1 in 7? That seems fun. Shit. They don't have 2 punitive. They can't. Oh, so just tempo punitive again. Okay, we're going to win off of single axis. Actually, have we played any trick shots? We played 1 trick shot. So their money just isn't it. Now we have to just survive the urban renewal, which means we're probably just going to draw 4. Just missed the record? Yeah, we could have had it. So either we do credit, run that, and assume it's not an ice wall, or we just draw 4. Oh, now we probably do credit overclock, so we might as well draw ones. If it's an ice wall, we can simul chip the slap Vandal, worst comes to worst, but we'll probably get this urban renewal. We turned on the wall to wall. 0 money, 0 credits. Yeah, we're meant to win. You don't need money once you won. It's actually better to win on no credits, no clicks, because it means you were at perfect efficiency. Oh, we should consider going HQ sooner than later. I think a second Spin Doctor was drawn, though, wasn't it? This kind of deck really hurts the run. Okay, so snare's back up, so we should probably do not much. Draw, draw, draw. Oh, that's good. So we need no credits to trick shot, because we'll move the Slap Vandal over. There's a lot of Wayland Dice that has multiple ends around that Slap Vandal just doesn't beat. So we don't beat Pharos, we don't beat Logjam. It is what it is. That is the sort of matchup that you kind of want. Server 6? Was that overinstalled? Go. Border control if they pop it? If they pop it, yeah. But we can still run a remote server with most of our money. No further action. We're just hoping. Just hoping. We have cards for snare. Okay. We're out. How many cards did we touch? We accessed 24 cards. Mind you, 9 of those were archives just about. Thanks for the game. All right, sub 11 is okay. 9 turns. A bit slow, but it's the time too. It's the time. Couldn't get my engine online. What's the engine? Right, like, if you're struggling to get your engine online, the best thing you should do is cut 20 cards from your deck. Like, that sounds unfortunately maybe a bit rude. But like what you want to do is to make your deck as consistent as possible so your engine gets online is you should play as few cards as you can. Yeah, DD doesn't track the cards because we don't access, we look at them. Oh, borehole, okay, yeah. You should cut 20 cards. Like it's usually that easy, right? Ton of money, meat damage from assets. Cool. I saw a lot of Jincheki damage cards in there. The Refuge campaign, I'm surprised. I think Refuge campaign is like, unfortunately, landed so far away from what it needed to be to see play. And I think it's just like behind Regolith that doesn't make any sense for 3 influence. Yeah. If you want to yeah. For what it's worth, I don't like borehole decks. I think pinhole is pretty common. But I also don't think it's fun to lose to borehole. I don't know. Pretty good for the 57 card percent run. Yeah, the 63% card category, which we might be actually the top of. Yeah, I think that's something that like I don't probably give enough credence to. I think a lot of people enjoy it, right? Like a 63 card deck. I don't know what I'm gonna draw. Like the Ampere, the Nova sort of stuff. Hey, cheers. Thanks for the game. But for me, it's like, and at this point, it's probably because I've been playing for such a long time. I become a jaded, you know, asshat. For me, I like want to move always in the opposite direction. I like the consistency. I don't know. Borehole is a rad concept with dodgy execution. I don't know if the execution is dodgy. I think it's like exactly where it should be for power level to like not be a burden on the game. Oh my god. Hold on. We got another bird airdrop. It's a pink eagle. Oh, it's got its wings, it's got its feet. Very good, Maddie. Yeah, these come out relatively quick. The frogs take more work. Really cool. So cute, yeah. Why does borehole feel bad by Chichinyu is cool? Because Chichinyu is interaction based. Chichinyu is inherently very interaction based. You have to do a lot of work, and the corporation has so much say in it. Like at a minimum 9 different runs that you could interact with. And borehole is just like, I hope you can't play the game. Obviously, like we saw with Dr. Vengeance, even worse, because I hope you can't play the game, but also I hope you suffocate slowly is like the worst of the worst. That's my guess. Like the win condition being interaction based. Like imagine that Junior wasn't interaction based. It was just like spend 9 credits, add 1 knife. Like obviously that wouldn't happen, but you'd feel different about it for sure. Yeah, real quick again, we have the list up. I'm going to be adding some photos to this over the time, but we got our ABR up for the Montreal. This is not the Montreal one. I think I closed it. This one's the Toronto one. Come to Toronto East Coast Nationals. It's on the 20th. It's in 2 weekends from now. But we're going to have a lot of cool prize support for Montreal and NANPC. I'll have the link in the description. But my partner right now is working on a bunch of, I get the run wrong, a bunch of like plushie tokens. So for some Arasana Trojans, we got a bunch of frogs that are coming in different colors, and we have a bunch of different Banhar birds. So this is the pink one that Maddie just made, an eagle, and then we have Falcon, accurate Falcon, and then like the digital blue Falcon. There's gonna be a bunch of these. If you want to come down to Montreal and NPC, we'd love to have you. You got a couple months to sort it out, but it's gonna be a treat. Always really fun. And with that, I want to give a huge thank you to so many people. Again, hopefully, if you're watching this, you had a good 4th of July. If you're in the Americas, you had a day off. Maybe that's just nice enough. We'll be back in a bit. We're going to have a video up hopefully on Monday. We have a replay review. It looks like Jeff and I are going to be revisiting our tier list relatively soon. So that should be up in 2 weeks from now. We're going to be recording that next week, which I'm really excited about. The week after this one, there'll be no streams, but there will be video content. That's when that video that I just talked about will be up. So we'll have some stuff, hopefully another deck dive as well. I'm gonna be really busy this week because we're gonna be out in Ontario. We're gonna be going to CanNats. Again, CanNats is not gonna be streamed. It is going to be an in-person event that is filmed. So we'll see what happens with the film. We might get some gameplay up on this channel. It looks like parts of it are gonna be recorded. But if you're out there, Toronto is also a phenomenal city. Happy to see you there. There's an East Coast thing on 3 weekends in July. New England can go to many tournaments. There's so many things. Mind you, Intercontinentals was announced. That is not applicable for most people to play in, but to watch it is a lot of fun. It's a good show match. That is on the 13th. There's a Montreal G&K on the 13th. On the 13th, there's the Philly NANPC event coming up. Then the weekend after is like Toronto stuff. The weekend after that is East Coast Nationals in Boston area, which is sick. There's a lot of stuff going on. The summer's usually like that. And then there's more stuff after that, NANPC stuff. I'm not sure the dates. I think SF is coming up soon enough. I'm pretty sure SF is coming up soon. Cool. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back in a bit. I need to cool down. It's a bit warm in here, but we'll be back in a bit. Take care, y'all.